Tonight's episode of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club is brought to you by Drew Estate. Come experience the rebirth of cigars at www.drewestate.com and download the free Drew Diplomat smartphone app today to discover nearby retailers, RSVP to special events, redeem points to win exclusive Drew Estate merchandise, and much, much more.
This might be a big mistake, but I'm having too much fun to wait. Flag her down when she comes back by. That one's yours and this one's mine. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round.
Here's the suckles.
Good evening, brothers and sisters of the Leaf. Coming to you live from Charles Bronson's bedroom, also known as the original Corner of No Hope. It's the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. Tonight, the boys take you scene by scene through the mind-blowing, the insanely awesome, the blood-soaked circus that is 1985's Death Wish 3, while smoking the complex 2012 by Oscar Corojo cigar, paired with a shit ton of tasty old Chub Scotch Ale from Oscar Blues Brewery. Well, it sounds like our favorite crew of drunken numbnuts is going to have more fun tonight than old Charlie B at an all-you-can-shoot purse snatcher buffet. What's that, you say? There's no such thing as an all-you-can-shoot purse snatcher buffet? Watch it, punk, or your number will be up too. Filthy punks. Anywho, sit back, folks, light 'em up, and enjoy the show.
Every year, without knowing it, I have passed the day when the last fires will wave to me and the silence will set out. Tireless traveler, like the beam of a lightless star, then I will be no longer. Find myself in life as in a strange garment, surprised at the earth and the love of one woman and the shamelessness of man. As today, riding after 3 days of rain, hearing the wrens sing and the falling cease, and bowing not knowing to what. That was W.S. Merwin's For the Anniversary of My Death from 1933's The Second Four Books of Poems. I mean, think about it, gentlemen. Each year we all unknowingly pass the anniversary of our own future death. Death, death, death. There's lots of death in tonight's movie. Lots of death everywhere you look in the real world. D-E-A-T-H. We're all going to stare in the eyes one day, boys. You can't avoid it. Thoughts?
What the fuck?
What the fuck indeed, old friend. What the fuck? I feel you.
I think it means what the fuck is this? We came here to get drunk and laugh, not to think about this heavy shit.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Well, it's episode 70, and usually after a successful 69, people tend to enjoy a moment of reflection and philosophical introspection. Am I right?
After a successful 69, I usually just like to get some sleep.
He's right. He's right.
It's a whole lot of death stuff to get to one final 69 joke, isn't it? Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club, episode 70.
70.
70. Nothing.
And we got a good one for you tonight.
Nothing sexy about that. Indeed, there's nothing sexy about tonight's episode. No, sir. All right, can we address the fuzzy elephant in the room?
What?
I guess it's our first episode with Tut's mustache sitting across from me.
No, it was here for Hooper. It was infantile.
It looked like a shadow. Is what it looked like.
It was in its 1 week stage.
But it's definitely there now.
Now you got the 2 week stage, the 3 week stage maybe.
My wife asked me what it was looking. She's like, "Have you seen progress on Tut's mustache lately?"
How can you not?
I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "What would you? Is it good? Is it a little good looking mustache or?" I was like, "Well, it's kind of like if G. Gordon Liddy was a child predator."
That's why I don't grow a mustache. Otherwise, I have to put on like the light beige suit and think about maybe stabbing someone with a pencil in the neck.
But maybe as it develops, develops further, you'll move past that pedophile stage, and it'll look like.
I'm not sure.
You don't think so?
Well, I mean, I've only gotten this far once, and I grew it for about a month and a half. And it was almost Selleck-esque.
Well, come on, that's a ridiculous statement. There's like very few mustaches in the world that are Selleck-esque.
You wait till this bad boy grows in.
We want to get our YouTube views up. Do you think maybe we should take a hidden camera and like follow Tut as he tries to buy a used ice cream truck?
Yes.
I would like a very large ice cream truck.
How much to have the windows tinted?
I'm sorry, sir. We cannot sell you a van.
Keep going. We support you and that thing on your face. We do.
It could disappear at any time.
It usually does.
Yeah.
Right about tomorrow. But as long as you insist on you know what? It's your journey.
It is.
And I support you.
And unfortunately, it's the Stash's journey, and I can feel my personality morph even as we speak.
So you guys are like in conflict, you and the Stash?
It's a symbiotic relationship, but I think he's starting to take over.
Well, Cody, I must ask you a question. How did St. Patty's Day go at the pub?
It went fantastically.
O'Brien's Irish Pub in downtown historic Temple, Texas.
Yeah.
I was driving in from Austin, got hit with a lot of rain. I was worried about you guys, but here it was a smashing success.
It was.
Like people smash stuff. And
yeah, they were just drunken idiots
It's St.
breaking
Patty's Day.
things. No, it was actually really good. Yeah, the weather did affect us, unfortunately, so we didn't quite get all the people. We had some people leave, and we knew that the weather did keep a lot of people away, but we still had a fantastic crowd.
Sell a lot of green beer.
Sold a lot of green beer.
Did you bring us any tonight? Any leftover green beer?
No, we
I
sold
don't-
all the green beer.
I don't drink.
Did
green
you?
beer.
You floated the kegs.
Oh, yes.
Nice. That's good.
That's a heck of a lot of green beer.
That is
too.
a lot of green. How many kegs did you guys go through?
We limited ourselves because we were like, we were not going to be.
Usually you're stuck. We're drinking green beer like in May. Is that a spinach energy? Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is,
Officer. So you limited yourself. How many? 3?
Yes.
Hey, I nailed it. And you floated 3 kegs. Good job.
Well, I mean, we're not a huge place, so we had that, and then I think we get
A lot of Guinness.
like 4 kegs of Guinness.
Wow.
So
Nice.
I mean, we're not a huge place, but
Well, you're our favorite place. I'm glad the weather didn't keep the party down.
no.
Awesome. And if you out there are looking for someplace next year, you know where to go.
Speaking of keeping the party going, go to our website and click on the Amazon link to do all of your Amazon shopping. I wanted to get that in because usually I'm too drunk to remember.
I
it
appreciate
at the end.
that. Party supplies, whatever you kind of party you're throwing, they can supply you the goods at Amazon. And if you're looking for cigars, we have a famous smoke shop link on the website. You click on there before you buy your cigars. And
I think I noticed something else new on the website.
there's a big shiny Drew Estate ad on there. Shows you some cool new Drew Estate products.
TNCC selling out. Yes, we're selling out. No,
Oh,
we're not. They're
we're
a great brand. We love them.
Well, we do, but we'll sell it to anybody. Just our email's on the website.
Just wait for next week when my mom's quilting service ad gets up there. Hey, she pays good money.
I'd like to talk to your mustache after the show, please.
She pays good money.
We don't need quilt money.
You're too good for quilt money now.
Do they pay you regular, or is it a bunch of bills sewn together? And you're like, what do I do with this?
It is. It's like a
It's like
jammy.
counterfeit. She just crocheted like
Trying to shove it in the deposit thing at the bank.
It's basically shorts in the form of money.
We will definitely keep an eye out. Our website always has new stuff coming. Seems like every other day we got something new posted on the website. So
Yeah,
TuesdayNightCigarClub.com.
We had that review of the Bruce Willis Death Wish that the doctor dropped out.
Which actually inspired tonight's show. We're going to be doing one of the older Bronson Death Wishes because of I read the doctor's review of the new theatrical one. I was inspired. Go to the website, check it out. We got a lot of fun stuff going on over there. What we do every week, as you may or may not know, we smoke a cigar that's been carefully, strategically paired with a delicious, hopefully, beer, craft of nature. And then we also try to pair that somehow with the movie of the night that we'll walk you through. And it's a fun night.
Yes, it is.
Have we ever not had a fun night?
No, even though we've done really crappy movies,
We
we've had
always-
fun doing
We
them.
always get drunk and have fun. So
It's amazing what beer can do.
I'm really counting on tonight to be the same. We will not disappoint you. So let me introduce tonight's cigar, and then we'll get right to it. Tonight we are doing the 2012 by Oscar Corojo cigar. This is by the one and only Oscar Valladares. If you'll remember, last year we smoked the 2012 Connecticut. I believe it was our first one of last year.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we also smoked the Oscar Habano. Remember that? It came in that bright green Candela leaf wrapped around the cigar.
Yeah.
And it made our top 10 cigars of 2017. Tonight we're going to be smoking a 6x52 box press. It's a Honduran sun-grown Corojo wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder and Honduras and Nicaraguan filler. I will save the price point till the end, as always. Speaking of Famous Smoke Shop, from our friends at Famous Smoke Shop, I gathered this intel, as they say in the
In the military world?
spy world.
Spy World.
2012 by Oscar Cigars are box-pressed reboot of the original 2012 edition, released the year when Oscar Valladares officially entered the cigar business. It was also the year the Mayan calendar predicted the end of the world,
I remember that.
which accounts for the Mayan-themed artwork on the boxes and on the band, as you can see here. Luckily for Oscar, the world didn't end because he enjoyed some remarkable success since then. You might want to check out our YouTube interview with Oscar from Cats Fest last year.
It's a great.
Speaking of journeys, he started out as Rocky Patel, another cigar manufacturer's bus driver, and now he owns his own factory. So I'll include that on the episode page, but go over to YouTube, you can find that.
He's kind of like a Denzel, where he starts out as the car driver for the guy in American Gangster and then actually becomes like the head of the guy.
I think you actually made that reference during the interview. He didn't appreciate that.
Being compared to Denzel or a gangster.
The gangster character. Or maybe that was... We did interview another guy there who was also a driver.
Maybe I compared him to him and he was like, oh, screw you.
I think I said it then, I'll say it now. Why don't I have a driver? Why am I driving myself places? You guys know how much I drink. I really need my own driver.
Yeah.
Make a note of that in your...
I can totally make a note of it.
You're not writing
Don't
it. Your pencil isn't actually touching the paper.
It totally is.
You're pretending. And to celebrate that success that he's had, Oscar and his master blender, I'm going to hopefully say this correctly, Byron Duarte, D-U-A-R-T-E, Duarte, have done it again with an even more impressive tasting lineup. The 2012 by Oscar Corojo boasts a sun-grown Honduran Corojo wrapper and runs more in the medium to full range with a creamy serving of earth, roasted nuts, graham cracker, which you guys have been picking up a lot lately in cigars. I don't get it nearly as much as you guys. And molasses for an extraordinarily complex cigar with a long, lingering finish. Much like yourself from the look of things. So it's a I was telling Tut before the show, all these 2012s that we did the Connecticut, and we still have a Maduro to do at some point. They all, if you shine them in the light, they all have that crystallization, the little speckles, the little sparkles on the wrapper that just, boy, it's just a super sexy presentation.
As Crystal from The Bachelor would say, glitter.
Glitter. It's a glitter bomb.
Done.
Are you glam shaming me?
No,
Don't
I'm a model. I can't glam shame.
Don't you glam shame me?
Wow, it's gonna be a long podcast.
I wanted him to start drinking, so mission accomplished.
Yes.
Speaking of drinking, what are we drinking?
We're drinking beer.
It's
All right,
beer.
moving on.
No. We are drinking, actually, 2 beers.
And the name of the company that makes them is
Oscar Blues.
Oscar Cigar, Oscar Beer. That's why we are who we are.
Wow,
Actually, this one was pretty simple.
Wow,
only there
you're
was
a
something-
pairing
Oscar
expert,
Cigar.
huh?
I just called Cody. Isn't there somebody that makes beer called Oscar?
Yes.
Genius. What are we drinking? The main one. The
main one,
We
yeah,
were looking for.
We're starting with their Old Chub Scotch Ale.
I like the sound of that.
It is quite delicious.
Sort of.
I do love
The
me some
company's
Scotch
own
ales.
And Old Chubs.
description is pretty spot on. Old Chub, and this they've chosen some fantastic words here, so I'm going to mispronounce them. Old Chub is a Bradadinganongian celebration.
I'm sorry.
I had to look that word up.
What?
It's the land of the giants in Swift's
Gulliver's Travels?
Gulliver's Travels.
Say it one more time.
Bradadinganongian.
I've heard it both ways.
Anyways, basically, they could have just said it's a giant celebration, but
Okay.
they had to go and be different.
All right.
Thanks, Thesaurus. So,
TNCC is anti-thesaurus.
well, we like Thesaurus.
Oh, we
but
do like
just,
thesaurus.
We don't want them to use crazy words.
You know what? I actually regret that already. I'm a big fan of the. I like synonyms. TNCC is pro synonyms,
There we go.
anti antonyms.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Anyways,
nobody likes that.
It's a whole different discussion. Anyways, a celebration of aggressively
No, Burt Reynolds laughing tonight. I'm sorry.
aggressively
Took
shattering
me
the
a week to
status
stop
quo.
doing that.
This jaw-dropping Scottish strong ale, 8% ABV and 30 IBUs, strays far from its conventions as it's brewed with a recklessly bodacious amount of malted barley and specialty grains and a dash of beechwood smoked malt.
Beechwood smoke.
I know. It features semi-sweet flavors of cocoa and coffee and a wee bit of smoke. It's powerful head-turning trip for malt heads and folks who think they don't dig dark beer.
I'm getting a lot more smoke in my beer than just a tad.
8%. For some reason, I thought this was higher than 8%.
No, the other one is higher.
Oh, okay. We were originally going to do. Well, first of all, we were originally going to do the Death by Coconut,
Yeah.
which turned out to be a seasonal because that would tie in not only the Oscar, but with our movie tonight, The Death Wish, Death by Coconut. Can you imagine Bronson saying that? Death by Coconut.
Nice smelling cigar there.
You like that aroma, huh?
I do. Yeah.
It does have a
I mean,
light up. Well, real quick,
Nice tasting beer there.
how about when we decide to try one of the? We only could find 4.
all right. Well, I'll talk about it when we.
Yeah, we'll
start
try that
drinking.
later. So Old Chub is the main beer for the night. We will be sampling one more of their other beers that we're hoping to get more of. But
There's also another tie-in. There's a lot of old people in tonight's movie.
yeah. And tonight this is the first time I will mention Old Chubs without mentally picturing you guys as wangs.
It is its nickname.
Where's Oscar?
They're originally out of Colorado, Lyons, Colorado. They have expanded, of course. They've done really well. They have gone into North Carolina and into Austin, Texas.
I was about to say, I thought that. Yeah, okay.
Like they're brewing in Austin, Texas?
Yeah,
Yes.
because I thought they were actually an Austin company.
No, they are.
Okay.
They originally started in Colorado. It was started in 1997 by Dale Catchis,
Which is the name for Dale's Pale Ale.
correct?
I like
and
it.
they exclusively can their beer. They do not bottle their beer at all.
Okay.
And they're the out of all the craft, they are the largest and only one that cans. So if you're out looking for anything from Oscar Blues, you will only find it in the can.
You mean they're the only one that does only cans?
They're the largest
Okay.
brewery that only cans.
Correct.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. Initial sips, thoughts?
I like it. I'm a fan of Scotch ales.
Yes.
It's a
What are
bit-
some other Scotch ales I may have had and I don't... Have we ever featured a Scotch ale on the show?
I don't think so.
Have we ever featured an Oscar beer on the show before? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Is this one of the more popular Scotch ales?
the Old Chub is.
Have you had it before?
Yes.
At the pub?
Yes.
Okay. We have not. We're newbies.
No, they have a Scotch ale at Red Horn Brewing there in Cedar Park, and it's called the Hairy Man.
What is with these names? Old Chub, Hairy Man?
Is there something about a Scotch ale like pick something gross and disgusting?
It's a Scotch ale. It has to be manly.
We need a disgusting homoerotic name stat.
Here,
The Hairy Old Chub. That's already been used.
here, drink this pendulous nads.
Pendulous Nads Scotch Ale, copyright
Copyright
Tuesday Night Cigar Club 2018.
It's already been copyrighted.
Damn it.
I like it. It's even
Very, very, very flavorful.
Yes.
I think that even with the low ABV, I mean not the low ABV, the low IBU. To me, I still get some bitterness there on the backside of the creaminess. I usually always think of, I always get tripped up by red ales because I think they're going to be creamy, but they never turn out to be creamy. But Scotch ales are a little bit
I
more
thought
creamy
about this
than that.
because last episode you mentioned this is whatever we were drinking. You were like, this is what
This is what I
think
read-
red ale
yeah.
should taste like. But every time I have a red ale, it doesn't taste like what I think. And I'm like, so basically, you don't know what a red ale tastes like. Is this what you think? Would you just say this is what you hope a red ale would taste like?
No, but to me, it's got that creamier profile. I want my red ales to have a creamy profile, and they never do.
Because that's not a profile of red ales.
It's a profile of Killian's Red.
No, I would never call Killian's creamy.
When they first came out before Coors bought them, yes.
Now you're talking 90s.
Yes, I am.
That's when Killian's was like a beef stew in a bottle. It was chunky and...
That's probably because it was old and left out in the sun.
Actually, you know what happened? I think I threw up into a Killian's bottle at a party one time.
This is going down the wrong path.
Well, it was bound to happen. Yeah, I get chocolate. Big time
Yes.
chocolate. But, boy, there's also just a... And this is not probably a beer terminology. A carbonation. It's kind of like a... Kind of like a cola? Does that make sense?
A little cola on the taste.
Almost like a root beer, kind of like a carbonated. I guess you could say a crispness.
It's got the carbonated taste, but it doesn't have the carbonated like fizz.
No, not at all. Once you get it in your mouth, it's got the chocolate and maybe a little bit of coffee and maybe a little bit of toffee. Does that make sense?
That's the beech nut you're talking.
Is that the
there.
beech nut I'm getting?
No,
It could be. Or beechwood.
What are you guys getting out of this thing?
I did get the chocolate right off the bat.
Yeah, but it's not overpowering like in a stout.
No,
at all.
no. It's not like a chocolate coffee stout at all. Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, I'm enjoying it. As far as the cigar goes, I just got a head start. I'm never the first one to light up
I'm actually enjoying the hay and alfalfa I'm getting through the cold draw.
You getting some hay and alfalfa on the cold draw? Did you get that as
I got a
well?
little bit that, yeah.
Upon lighting, I think you should brace yourself for some really nice red pepper spice on the nose, which will dissipate fairly quickly. And then you are going to get I'm telling you, you don't have to smoke it. I'm just going to tell you what's
What's
going on.
Here, Cody, you want this?
You're gonna
Sure, no.
you're gonna get some peanut, possibly some almond. It's very nutty, with some light coffee and a little bit of creaminess to it in the first inch or so. I will come back to you boys to see if you agree.
I'm just country boy enjoying the hay, man.
It's one of the top 11 cigar palettes in the known universe, according to a website. I think you'll agree. All right, you old chubs. We also, along with drinking beer and smoking stogies, we do a movie every once in a while.
What a movie indeed.
One of the best movies ever made.
It's
At least one of the best 80s action movies ever made. It certainly has a tender spot in my heart. Tonight we're going to be with the Bruce Willis movie in theaters now, the Death Wish reboot. We are going to be revisiting the original Death Wish films by dropping you into 1985 and Death Wish 3. Written by Don Jacoby. Sort of. I'll get more on that later. He also wrote Tobe Hooper's Life Force, which we're both fans of. John Carpenter's Vampires.
Ah.
Hey,
Arachnophobia.
okay.
Yeah, that's
And Blue Thunder.
you can't go wrong with Blue Thunder.
It's a lot of sci-fi kind of fantasy stuff
Whisper
that
mode.
he's dropped into a Death Wish movie here.
Whisper mode was so awesome. I'm
was.
sorry.
And it is directed, once again, by Michael Winner, director of the first two Death Wish films, and the 1972 double punch of The Mechanic with Bronson, and the horror classic The Sentinel.
Oh.
I believe that was George C. Scott. Turns out, according to everything I've read, Winner, the director who knows Death Wish more than anybody at this point, this is his third film directing, he wrote so much of the script. I think Jacoby wanted to take his name off, and it wasn't really his script anymore.
Yeah.
But they left it on. They left the credit on there. But a lot of what you see in this movie is Michael Winner kind of tweaking it. Bronson didn't really, when he first read this script, according to all accounts, he wasn't into it.
Not into it.
He didn't. I don't like it. No. He thought it was. He thought it was too over the top. He thought it was too violent. He thought it was too out of line with the Kersey character from the first two. This is when action movies in the '80s were really going up, up a level, and he didn't.
It
really,
was body count time.
He didn't really get it. And at the same time, though, Charlie's up there in age. He's not getting a lot of offer. He needs work, so he did it. And thank God he did. And then he did 4, 5.
They just
Death Wish 9. I wish I was dead. Let's take a minute here while you guys get into your cigars, and then I'll come back to you to recap the Death Wish series in just a minute or two. For those of you who kind of need a brief summary on where we're at. In 1974, Charles Bronson starred as happy-go-lucky, ultra-liberal New York City architect Paul Kersey in the original Death Wish film. When Kersey's wife is murdered and his daughter's raped upon returning to New York from a tropical vacation, Paul the pacifist, I know it's hard to imagine Bronson as a pacifist, finds himself so frustrated with the useless justice system and the astronomical crime rate in the city, he starts going out in the streets at night after dark, blowing punks away on sight. Then 8 years later, in 1982, he starred in Death Wish 2, with Bronson's Kersey now living in Los Angeles. He's brought out of his vigilante retirement by the kidnapping, rape, and eventual death of his daughter at the hands of a ruthless gang of punks. Gosh, she didn't go through enough in the first film. They finish her off in this one. Different punks. Like, everywhere he goes,
there's punks.
There's punks. Well, she had barely survived the first film, and she was left kind of a shell of a functioning human. She was kind of in this traumatic walking coma, and some muggers robbed Charlie at the ice cream stand and went to his house because they saw his address, and they raped and killed his maid and then kidnapped his daughter. And it's much more brutal than any of the kind of sexual crimes we see in this one. That you're welcome, Tut. I know you'll appreciate that. You've been getting on me about all the horrible stuff we've been seeing. This is actually one of the tamer Death Wish films, believe it or not.
It is.
Only 95 people die.
And they still get a time. They still
83.
find time to put a rape scene in there.
Sort of. This time around, in part 2, he puts his trusty skull cap and black jacket on, and he doesn't hesitate for 1 second before dishing out bullets and one-liners. That's the part 2 is the one where he has that great one. Do you believe in Jesus? Well, you're gonna meet him.
Now you're gonna meet him.
So at the end of part 2, Kersey had killed all the men responsible for his daughter's death, but instead of hiding his gun once again and giving up his after dark shenanigans, we see him putting on the black skull cap and walking out into the night to keep delivering his own special brand of crime prevention. You can't commit a crime if you're dead. Now you're dead. Punk. So here, I want to do the whole show tonight in Charlie's voice, but I think that wouldn't...
I wouldn't mind it, actually.
I'm getting notes of cedar and cream.
Yeah, that's too much talking for Bronson.
Yeah.
I'm
getting notes of marshmallow. No, I no way I can keep that up. So here with tonight's entry, are we going to find a reformed Paul Kersey living out his life in peace and quiet, or is he still at it 3 years later? I can't wait to find out. Nah, who are we kidding? He's still at it. Of course he's still at it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a movie to watch.
None whatsoever.
Death Wish 3, The Retirement. I spent the morning hard-boiling some eggs. Now I'm going to go clip some coupons. I wish it was dead. No, he's still blowing guys away, and that's what makes these movies great. Cigar.
I like it.
Tut. No, what do you...
I like it.
Go on. What are you getting at? We're
It's
all
a good
about the same
cigar.
place now. You guys are caught up fast.
This flavor, I'm going to kill it. No. You were right about that spice. Not too much. I'm not getting too
Came
much.
and go
but just-
quickly.
Yes. I'm not really getting a whole, like, just... I get a little more, hint of pepper on the retro.
Are you getting the coffee?
I am getting the coffee, but I'm also sitting there going, is that the beer interacting with
No,
this?
it's actually... I believe it is a cigar. I've
Okay.
already had one, and the coffee was a constant throughout the...
Okay. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, this sure does taste... I've got a strong coffee note, but then I'm like, well, man, the beer is also... But, I like that.
Spice up front, a little bit of coffee. Tut.
I'm trying to pinpoint what that spice actually is on the retro hell. It's something that I
Only there
don't...
was
Perhaps
something to
the
tell us-
flavor wheel could help you.
Give me that flavor wheel right there. Spices.
The
'Cause
Cigar Advisor flavor wheel sweeps in to save the day, Charlie Bronson style.
Man, because I'm almost kind of tasting cardamom. It's an Indian spice. You use it in cooking.
Cardamom?
Yeah, cardamom right there, right in between black pepper
No shit.
and vanilla.
It's on the wheel. Well, it's legit then.
Yeah, because there's a spice like a pepper, a
Okay.
little bit of like a white pepper, not heavy black.
Okay.
But there's a sweetness to it. But it's not like graham sweetness or cinnamon either.
See, I don't equate graham with sweetness.
I do. Graham's
is
got a little bit of that.
a little sprinkled sugar on the cracker.
Yeah, with a little bit of hints of vanilla.
Okay. So you got the spice up front, and then some cardamom.
It's all over that retro hell.
Perhaps I just never had cardamom, and I don't know that I'm experiencing it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Any coffee? Any nuts?
No, but it's a very earthiness. I was going to describe it as rustic.
Okay. That could be
I know
the
that rustic's more of a visual type descriptor.
No, I mean Nicaraguan earth is definitely it's got Nicaraguan Honduran filler, so that could be something. Okay. Well, you guys keep.
I do know I love the smell of it. The
Yeah,
aroma
you
is-
immediately when I lit up, your eyes lit up.
The aroma is really, really
It
good.
is. I'm just. Your smoke coming across the table smells wonderful. It's a
Yeah.
really good smelling cigar. All right. I'll come back to it here in just a little bit. I think it's actually playing really nice with the beer, which we've been on fire lately. We haven't had a bad pairing in a while. So.
No.
Internet cigar beer pairing experts, according to a website.
Our own.
Our own. Well, the minute you see the Canon Films logo
Oh,
at the beginning of this sucker, you know things are going to be bigger and way more bananas this time around. Jorn Globus and Menahem Golan are going to take things up a notch because that's what they do. That's what Canon Films did in the mid-'80s, for better or for worse. And it's almost always, in my opinion, for the better.
it is. I just love how every one of them just starts out. You see that little blurry, and then you hear
Well, they actually did produce Death Wish 2, which was a very different kind of style of film in their early days before they got big. But by 85, they definitely, Canon Films had a winning formula. Think Invasion USA, Delta Force, the American Ninjas. The bigger the better, baby. The bigger the better.
just every single one of them.
Crap. Now I got to go buy a motorcycle with some missile launchers.
No, that was Megaforce.
Yeah, I heard it both ways.
Well, I just got a little bit of cream on that last, on the draw there. That was nice. Okay. As the opening credit sequence begins, showing a gray-haired and very tired-looking Paul Kersey riding a Greyhound bus into New York City, the first thing I noticed is I'm going to say it, cheesy, dare I say, jazzy soundtrack. While the film score is credited to Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin fame, he in fact had nothing to do with this film. He did in the first two movies, and they retool a lot of his themes and his music bits throughout this film. But another guy actually came in and did like a lot of the synthesizer and the love theme and this opening music. It grows on me.
I thought Herbie did a lot of stuff for the first one.
Correct. I don't believe they reused any of. I don't know if they did or not.
Yeah.
But I know they that bling bling whenever he's ready to kill people. That's all Jimmy Page.
I like the music of Death Wish 3.
I-
It's got a
no,
nice little shaft vibe.
This
to
is where
it.
I'm going on. It's cheesy as hell, and it's all over the place. Like the love theme sounds like nothing like this theme.
Oh, no,
which
it's a
sounds
total
which
break.
sounds nothing like when
It
he's
is
walking
total
down the
break.
street. It's all over the place.
And
And I think that's just a mixture of Jimmy Page's older stuff with this guy's, and who knows what else. Over the years, I've seen this movie so many times. It has grown on me. It is not a. It's a hot mess.
Well,
but it's a hot mess I've come to appreciate.
if it sounds like with the script where the director basically, changed up the script, maybe he did the same thing with the music style, to where there was like an actual direction that they wanted to go first, and he was like, no, let's do this.
Michael
let's do
Winner
this,
actually
let's bring
cuts his
this.
own films. He uses an alias, which is actually, I have to look it up. It's a pretty funny name he uses for his editor alias. But he actually cut a lot of it to existing Death Wish music, and they just ended up using it.
Yeah.
With this new stuff, like this opening scene of him in this bus, it's like this sweeping, woo, doo, doo, doo. Like it's pure 80s, and it's cheesy. I'm sorry, it's cheesy, but I associate it with something I like, so I like it.
We were I was working on a video project one time for a client, and we were having to do so many redos because we had our vision and we had our script that was signed off on, but then his boss came in and started making all these changes, and he was very upfront. My point of contact was very upfront. He was like, we're about to make soup, and by the end of it, it's going to taste more like my boss's fingers than anything we even come up with. And that kind of reminds me of what might have gone on in this movie.
I think they happily stumbled their way into
Yeah.
a serviceable score that, upon repeated viewings, you kind of.
I liked it.
You kinda-
I actually did
Yeah.
like the end product of this.
Yeah, I think it works. Well, as Kersey rides the bus, we cut to a neighborhood in war-torn Beirut. No, it's actually a neighborhood in New York City.
It's 80s New York.
That looks like 10 bombs just got dropped on it.
I
was like, where is this?
I love how in the 80s, like, urban movies all of a sudden just became war zones.
There is rubble and trash everywhere, dust clouds in the air constantly, and armed gangs roaming around freely. It reminded me of that time I sat at the 50-yard line of an Oakland Raiders game.
What I can't figure out is like, because you're sitting there and all of a sudden it's like,
This is America. This is supposed to be in America.
Yeah, and you're like,
You see him driving the bus. There's a Statue of Liberty. Oh,
It's like a post-apocalyptic world, like, you know, Road Warrior, guys on motorcycles.
Am I
with
watching Escape
feather
from New York?
mohawks.
yeah, no, it's well, a gang of thugs whose symbol is a red line of makeup down their forehead suddenly breaks into an old man named Charlie's apartment to rob him, and they end up punching him so many times in the belly that they kill the old bastard. He's 100 years old, and they punch him like 50 times in the gut. Did y'all recognize the young blonde gang member, Hermosa?
Yes, from Bill and Ted.
It's, of course, super young Alex Winter of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure fame.
And it was funny before camera and tape started rolling, we were talking about actors being typecast. And, you know, it sucks for actors, but at the same time, I can't watch this guy without thinking, you know, Bill and Ted.
Well, he has a very limited breadth of work to pull from. He hadn't done a lot
Lost Boys.
outside of that. But
He was in Lost Boys.
Yes.
it continues a trend, though, in the Death Wish films featuring an, at the time, nobody actor as a thug or as a gang member. If you remember, Jeff Goldblum was one of the gang members in part 1.
Yes.
Lawrence Fishburne was one of the gang members in part 2, and now we have Alex Winter.
Jeff Goldblum. I need to go watch that. I'm sorry. We're trying to.
He's got some big shades on, and
I'm going to kill you now, but I think I'm really trying to get. I'm really trying to kill you.
Thank God he didn't really speak.
Hey Tut, the Goldblum impression. I wish it was dead. Well, they run off just as Bronson's Kersey shows up, gun drawn. For some reason, he was coming to this old guy's apartment. He shows up right as they're running away. And he can tell from his buddy Charlie's pathetic corpse on the floor. He's too late. This guy's dead. The cops suddenly barge in just that second as Charlie's got his gun
out.
And
You murdering son of a bitch.
they arrest Kersey for murder.
Supposed to, I'm like, so you just drove up through the war zone, and this is the crime you're gonna bust?
Well, apparently, here's the thing. They were punching that old guy in the belly for a good 3 minutes. Finally, they show one of his old neighbors. We should probably call the police. You think?
Yeah, but you learn that you don't get involved in this neighborhood, man.
No,
You keep your head down and look down.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, and they show, like, while you hear him being attacked, they cut to all the neighbors in their apartments.
Turning up the news.
And I'm sitting here looking like, okay, why is it you look out the window, it's, you know, Mad Max, but you're in here and there's like these nice apartments.
Oh, no. They hear Charlie screaming out in agony. They're like, let's turn up the pot of soup, boil it. Let's just...
Actually, a little bit before this, there was a murder in New York where an entire building.
Yes, a woman.
I was about to say, as a
woman.
Yeah,
A woman on the street was being brutally attacked on the street, and it's a classic case where literally everyone is looking out their windows and nobody's picking up a phone to call the police.
yeah.
And this is that on steroids.
And it was so unbelievable at the time. I think that might be, you know, an influence of kind of like
it could
how
be
how the neighborhood's
and this
not
this
doing
movie on that same.
I do like how like X was like, the rest of this place is a hellhole, but the individual apartments are kind of nice
Well, I wouldn't call them nice.
for a poor neighborhood in New York. Yeah.
Well, you can tell these are the people that have lived there forever.
I will say this though, we
It's
are
rent controlled, I'm sure.
Tut talks about that case. This is also the first Death Wish film to come after the Bernard Goetz case in New York City where the white man shot the black 4 black people on the subway. Said they were trying to rob him. They said they were just asking money for video games.
Yeah.
Pulled out a gun on the subway, blew him away. A lot of people blamed the Death Wish fit. Like, he became the New York City vigilante. It was a high profile case.
Okay.
Bronson got asked about it constantly. How do you feel about, Bernard
Influencing
Guts
this guy?
influencing it? So this is the first Death Wish to come out pretty soon after that case. So there's a lot of kind of societal tie-ins
Yeah, but
here.
the
Yeah.
funny thing is that I guess if we were going to say that trope, it really started in. We laugh about it like the Kentucky Fried Movie. I mean, they do the whole thing like take him to Detroit. You already have your levels of
Yeah.
urban decay going on.
And in
Well,
70s,
But then,
New York was
this is
pretty
the funny thing
bad.
because after seeing this, it reminded me like the original came out in '74.
Yeah.
But it didn't come out until like November, or October, November in '74. The Punisher, the comic book character, came out in February of '74. Was introduced. So I'm wondering, how many people were already kind of discussing this type of character.
Which came first, me or him?
But they're basically the same character. Their families are killed, and they both just go on a fucking rampage.
That's a very interesting point. And when they asked,
I never had that correlation.
that's a really good correlation. And when they asked the director Michael Winner about the Bernard Getz thing and like movies influencing, he's like, no, we predicted it. We predicted that this was going to reach a boiling point to where a man, because of the crime rate out of control and the flaws in the, I'm very pro police. Nobody's more pro cop than me. This is just, we predicted a guy who just would take shit in his own hands. We're not the cause of this.
The portrayal of the police in this film might beg to
not
differ.
in this film. Not in this film.
Oh my God! Let's just wait till we get
Yeah.
further. Let's go towards the
Oh
end.
wait, hey! Meanwhile, at the police station, Kersey's roughed up by some detectives. They take him in for questioning,
beating
and
the
they start
shit out of him.
beating the shit out of him.
It doesn't make any sense. You drove through a fucking hellhole. There was literally
3 robberies
roving
on the
gangs
way.
of thugs. The cops just drive. I mean, they're not. It's not like they're hiding. They're
No.
literally roving in the middle of the road,
And they
running
have
around.
marks on their foreheads, a la the cowboys.
Well, they're beating the shit out of Kersey in the interrogation room, but they're stopped by Lieutenant Schreiker, who kicks them out of the room. Oh, by the way, Kersey's giving them an alias at this point. He's not telling them who he really is.
My name is Kimball.
Kimball. Well, he tells Kersey, "I know who you are. I used to work when you were doing your vigilante
when they brought
thing.
you in.
Well, I just
When
like
they
it. I
brought
like
you
how
in.
he has that. Holy shit!
It's you. My vigilante days are over."
But I have a
And
gun.
then the lieutenant starts kicking his ass. He starts beating the shit out of him. Finally, Kersey's like, "You know what?" And he kicks him in the balls
You know what?
because he's handcuffed.
Well, I just like this. I like you.
You're my kind of guy, Kersey.
Well,
Boom,
Kersey fights
boom.
back. Who wouldn't? Because he's at this
He's
point.
getting kicked.
At this point, he's going to be killed by cops if he
Yeah.
doesn't do something. And the next thing we know, he's being thrown in a jail cell, and Schreiker says, "No bail. We're keeping him forever."
I'm
All right.
certain that's not how the law works.
Well, naturally, Kersey, surrounded by thugs, a big tattooed guy. Back when tattoos meant you're a troublemaker, not everybody.
filthy, dirty trouble.
Promptly tries to jump Kersey in a really pathetic way. Like Kersey hits him in the balls and then takes his head and shoves it through
I'd like
jail
that.
bars.
I like that.
ripping his ears off and like
Ah.
blood streaming down his face. It's only about 5 seconds of action that him fighting this guy, but then Bronson slumps down. He's exhausted.
Oh man.
It's worth me mentioning here, the director, Michael Winner, would later recount how Bronson had certainly slowed down a step on this entry compared to the first two. Early on in the shoot, he would often complain about how loud the gunshots were. And when asked to chase some bad guys, the actor told the director, "My doctor insists that I do some warm-ups before I do any running." The director yelled at him in front of everyone, "Charlie, You can't run. You can't fire guns. You got 38 muggers left to kill. How about we just set you up in a hot dog stand and you can food poison them all? To which he said that produced that wonderful little Charlie smile, and Charlie sucked it up and did what he was supposed to do. Dude, he's 66 in this thing.
I was about to say, I mean, I understand the director's frustration, but at the same time,
All right,
knew his age coming into it.
I'm just saying, you read the script. This scene, all right, the guy takes a purse and runs that way. All right, Charlie, I need you to chase him. I've got to do my warm-ups.
But at the same time, you're talking about a guy who's 66. Like you said, the action scripts aren't coming in for him anymore. He's trying to earn a paycheck.
He was grateful to have the gig.
So of course he's going to say, "Oh yes, I can do it." Your director should be like,
I need 10 minutes of calisthenics.
all I can think of is Zombie Land. It's like, have you ever seen a lion warm up before he chases down a gazelle?
I haven't seen that movie, but it's a good quote.
It works.
Well, the next morning, he wakes up in the cell, and some of his cellmates start pummeling the shit out of him again. God damn it. Led by the tall, pale, imposing gang leader known as Fraker. You won't get this dude confused with any other punks, because he's chosen the highly unique hairdo known as the Hawkmo.
The reverse mohawk.
It's a Hawkmo. He's shaved a line straight down his middle of his hair, and then the sides are left to grow out just normal blonde hairstyle.
Well, you know what I love in this scene is, like, you know, after, you know, Kersey slams that dude's head through the jail bars, he goes to sit down, and this guy's staring at him, just like
he's giving him the eye. He's giving the evil eye. Yeah.
But then I like it. You know, he said in the morning. Apparently, he just leans over. I want to move on that guy in the corner. And like everybody knows, like this choreographed dance, like, all right, I'm gonna walk over casually, and like.
No, there's no casual about it. They just didn't start beating the shit out of him.
That shows you the gang leader, man. He's large and in charge. He's got that red stripe down the middle.
No red stripe in prison. It's just
really?
It's just the Hawkmo.
Okay.
He doesn't have the face paint in prison, so it looks even more ridiculous.
It's just
a stripe shaved down the middle of his head, which I believe is a Hawkmo. I'm not sure.
Give me the I think reverse mohawk.
I think it's a Hawkmo.
Give me the number 1 down the center of my fan. Thank you.
I want to go 0 down the middle, and then let's just do finger length on the sides.
Would you like some?
I doubt this guy.
Would you like some product in your hair?
I doubt this guy's going into Good Clips. Good Clips. What the fuck? When Kersey punches Fraker back, oh boy, Fraker's not used to that. He can't believe it. Nobody lays their hands on him and his Hawkmo. Just then, Fraker's lawyer shows up to bail him out, saving Kersey's skin. But before he leaves, Fraker tells Kersey, hey, watch the 6 p.m. news tonight. I'm going to kill an old lady, and that's on you for pissing me off.
I do like that line. I think that's a good villain line.
Oh, it's a great villain line. Fraker here is played by Gavin O'Herlihy, best known for Superman 3. He was Loudon Lane's drunk boyfriend.
Yeah.
And Never Say Never Again. He was the test subject.
Yes.
In the James Bond movie. Remember, like something with his eyes.
Batachi.
Yeah. But he has a soft spot in my heart for no other reason than he is Dan O'Herlihy's son. Cochran from Halloween 3, the Madman mask maker.
Yeah.
And the CEO of Omni Consumer Products and RoboCop. So it's his boy. And he's good in this.
Yeah.
Real quick, you're puffing like, I got to go to the cigar quick because I see you're just like a madman.
I'm not getting any transitions off of this thing.
You might be smoking too fast. You're almost done. You've smoked a Toro in 10 minutes.
Because it's a great tasting cigar.
Okay, well, as long as you're balancing that with a positive comment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm burning it down because I am just puffing away at it. I'm retrohaling like the crap out of this because
I am getting some complexity. I'm getting some mint on the back end.
Cardamom.
Is that cardamom? Is it minty?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Cardamom is minty.
It's a complex spice that goes all the way from graham to a hint of mint.
I'm getting a lot of mint on the end of the retrohale.
Yes.
I am getting that roasted nuts.
Oscar's like, cardamom? What the fuck?
It's big in Honduras. I'm getting I'm still getting that light coffee balanced with the roasted nut. You guys getting the nuts?
I am getting a little bit of a roast. I'm not sure what's being roasted, but there is
You don't
a
know if
roast.
coffee or nuts, but
Right.
something's getting roasted.
Right.
I'm definitely the coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Are you getting any of the cream? I'm getting a little bit of cream on the back of the palate.
Something. I'm going to say just a hint.
My stash
For
says
myself.
no.
It's very tasty. Construction, I'm looking at you guys' cigars, is
No, that construction is spot on.
perfect draw.
I mean,
I
burn line
barely
is-
clipped the head. I'm getting a perfect draw.
I mean, it's
Ash isn't hanging on for too long,
no,
but that's who cares. Great burn line. I'm construction is spot on for me. Yeah, I'm getting some cool flavors that I don't normally. That's why when you said it, not a lot of complexity. That mint to me mixed.
But it's, I guess to me, because I've gone mentally to this one spice, and I don't think there's complexity with that. But cardamom is a complex spice in and of itself.
You're a contradiction of yourself. Sort of.
Well, I was trying to go Gordon Ramsay all of a sudden, but
The cigar is not complex, but all I'm getting is this complex spice off of it. All right.
Well, when I mean complex, there's not a lot of transitions to it. I'm getting that.
I think between the coffee,
great-
the nuts, and the creaminess on the palate, mixed with the little bit of the, like you said, the white pepper, the kind of light, enjoyable spice, and that
Yeah.
that minty kind of different taste. Man, that's something new bringing to the table.
And I also appreciate that it's an easy retrohale.
Yeah.
It's
Tasty
not a,
retrohale.
It's not a struggle to retrohale this thing. And matter of fact, you just kind of want to.
I'm enjoying the red. Out the nose, out the mouth. It's coming out good either way.
Yeah.
That's what she said. Beer still treating you guys good?
it is very much so.
I'm still getting just that kind of chocolate
That's one note.
cola. I just keep going back. It's got like a.
Well, they did say it's a sweetness within
guess
the,
maybe
the
that's
cocoa and the coffee. It's not just.
Called molasses.
Well, they didn't say anything about
The
molasses,
Oh, wait,
cigar
that's the
said
cigar.
something about molasses. I'm not getting any molasses on the.
but they did that. Said that was the one of the two strong ones. A semi-sweet cocoa and and coffee.
Maybe it's a sweetness I'm associate with like a just a Coke or
An RC Cola.
An RC Cola. The
RC
Cola of Kings, the Royal Crown.
It's not the same as Coke. It's not the same as Coke.
Isn't it though?
No.
I like RC Cola.
If I wanted an
I grew up
RC
drinking
Cola, I
nothing
would have
but
ordered
RC
an
Cola.
RC Cola.
Brushed my teeth with it as a young man.
Fairly certain that's not healthy.
Now you tell me.
No.
About 30 years too late, my friend.
No, you did.
Now you did. After getting a dismal report on the city's growing crime wave from a seemingly useless underlings, Lieutenant Schreiker pulls Kersey into his office. He tells Kersey that he's actually a big fan of his work, so much so he's kept a file on Paul all these years, and he has a hunch that after he shot those 5 douchebags out in L.A. that killed his daughter, Kersey then traveled around the country blowing away other criminals in Kansas City and so on and so on. Man, what an epic flip-flop. This guy was just beating Kersey's ass. I hate you. I'm a big fan. Come work for me. What the hell?
I want to be
I've changed my mind.
He was literally punching him in the gut yesterday.
I would do something
Oh
about
yeah,
the.
and completely like shitting on his civil rights.
Yes.
Holding him without bail.
Throw him away
holding
forever.
him without an arrest or.
But then he
telling
sees
him
his
what
crime
arrested
rates
for.
and his job in jeopardy. He's like, all right, bring him out. Anywho, he tells Kersey,
I would do something about all this crime, but I'm a cop. I can't. My hands are tied by the law. Wait, what?
well, maybe it's that giant bottle of whiskey in your desk drawer that you keep pulling out and sipping on all the time. I can't figure out why I can't solve this crime wave. Oh, TNCC style. You can't figure out why you can't solve stuff? All my problems aren't going away. Help me, problem juice. Anywho, he tells Kersey that he's setting him loose to deliver his unique brand of vigilante justice in Brooklyn. He tells Kersey to just do your thing and report to me what your plans are, so once in a while the cops can get a few busts out of it. Schreiker will also keep the media out of the picture by telling them it's just gang-on-gang violence, which nobody really cares about.
Or they could just send out their cops to like arrest guys with red lines on their forehead.
Again.
It's kind of like the scene in Tombstone. It's like them there are the cowboys. You can tell by the red sash that they're wearing. You know that they're a gang. You know that they're right there. You can go arrest them right now.
Excuse me, sir. You have a red line down the middle of your forehead. Are you? No.
Had to ask.
Sorry.
Had to ask. I'm so sorry.
He hands Kersey his gun back. I didn't see a gun when he came in here. And he's off to deliver some new death wishes. Is that what John Cena does to those sick kids in the hospital?
I thought he didn't give him his gun back.
No, he
'cause
does.
It was like,
no, he does.
Guns are illegal.
No, he does. He's like, oh, I didn't see you come in with a gun. He's like,
Oh, okay,
guns
that's
are
what it
legal.
was. Yeah, all right.
Hey, so Charlie's off to deliver new death wishes.
What were you about to say about Cena?
Is that what John Cena does to those sick kids in the hospital? Those
What?
death wishes?
Yes, actually they are.
That's Make-A-Wish.
It's Make-A-Wish.
That's different.
Thought it was the same thing.
No, it isn't.
No, he's making wishes. Their wish to come true. He's not
Yes.
delivering death wishes.
But what does Make-A-Wish do?
They grant wishes of sick kids.
To terminally ill kids.
Oh, I don't think they're terminally ill, are they?
Yeah.
They're not death wishes.
Technically, it's...
So it is the same thing.
I kinda
Well,
like-
John Cena is Bronson. I heard you had a death wish. Now I'm here.
I mean, it's sad, but I think that technically they serve terminally ill kids.
Oh, yes.
Can we go back to the movie? Because now I'm about to cry.
Please.
John Cena, you're a saint.
He is.
He is. He's a saint. He's a good man. By all accounts, he's a good man. Do you think the TNCC will ever be asked to host the Kids' Choice Awards on Nickelodeon?
Not with this stash.
Next up, the Jonas Brothers. Nothing gay about that. Oh. Drink some more politically correct juice.
What's the juice on like the second episode of Black Mirror? The Obey juice. I think they literally called it the Obey juice.
I need some of that. Okay, that's enough about sick kids. I don't know how we got off on that tut.
What?
I had a little funny joke about Bronson going out to deliver more death wishes. Hey, isn't that like what John Cena does? It's supposed to be big. I think that is what he does. I think John Cena is delivering death wishes. You totally blew the whole gag, you asshole. Do your little Bree song and get us out of here. You can dance if you want to. He did a little Bella song one time on the show that was very uplifting. I was humming it for days.
I think that is. You can dance if you want to.
I feel better, don't you? I wish I was dead.
You can dance if you... I don't remember.
Wait,
You
that's
can
a
look,
safety
but
dance.
You can look,
That's
but
the safety dance.
oh, he's just singing the safety dance.
Leave your friends behind.
It's you can look, but you can't touch.
You can look, but you can't touch.
No, that's not how it goes. All right, moving on. Well, Fraker, remember him with the gang
Yes,
leader?
now he's back.
With the Hawkmo. He's rejoined his gang.
Well,
which,
no,
which, by the way, he promptly slices the throat of the guy,
guy
who
who's
stepped
running
in in his place to run the thing.
I was-
Hey, thanks for stepping in for me.
I was running it like you said.
He's coming back, okay? He's coming back from prison. But somewhere before, when he left prison, before he got back to the gang hideout, he was apparently supplied makeup to reapply the red line.
In the cab ride, but here's the thing. Unlike the other guys, the underlings, they just have the red line down their forehead. He has the red line through his Hawkmo all the way to the back of his head.
And I'm like, so where did he get the makeup? Did like the lawyer give it to him? Like, here's your special kit.
Well,
Gang
like,
leader.
No,
well,
when you get out of prison,
when they
you get
process you.
you get the envelope of your belongings.
I'm sure he got his makeup back.
Yeah, he got like a lipstick tube and went, I'm back.
Is that the red number 5? I'll take that.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
But apparently,
That was
like,
Tut style.
I mean, as soon as he walks out, man, you know, it's like
He's ready.
he's ready. He's back.
Uniforms on.
Well, Kersey walks out around the same time, and a young, attractive public defender tries to chase him down. She can't believe he's not suing the city for the way he's been treated. Held without bail. I'm not
fine.
interested. You have a great case. You've been treated so unjustly. Not gonna sue. Leave me alone.
I've got to go out
I love
and
Bronson.
kill people.
But dude, he totally just blows her off. He's only interested in one thing: shooting people.
My friend was killed.
He doesn't say that to her, by the
Now
way.
I'm going
I've got to go shoot people.
Kill them.
I've got a date with shooting people. Well, he walks the streets. He goes straight into the war zone, walking the streets at a very slow pace, hand in his pockets, as every conceivable crime has been committed around him. They're fighting. Chicks are getting raped in the streets, robberies. It reminded me of that time the TNCC opened up for the Insane Clown Posse that one time. Remember that?
That didn't
For
happen.
you Game of Thrones nerds, it is the Dothraki wedding orgy
On Main Street.
on Main Street.
On Main Street.
But seriously, was New York City ever like this? I don't think so.
Not to this bad, but in the 70s, it actually was pretty damn bad.
Not this bad.
No, it wasn't Warzone Beirut bad.
And I'm
This-
sorry, the
this is-
excuse
this is
everybody
like-
gives, well, why would you live here? I've got nowhere else to go. Anywhere but here? Go live on the fucking lake.
A van down by
Like,
the river is safer than your
the
neighborhood.
woods. Get a tent and live in the woods. At least you'll be alive. You dumbasses.
I don't want to leave the protection of the city. This is
There is no protection of
You
the city.
literally can't go to 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee without getting stabbed or raped. Speaking of, this
And
is
it was-
this
it-
is not actually New York City. They're filming that. Do you know where they filmed this movie? This is
See, I
all.
would, I would say Detroit.
This is all London.
Salt Lake City.
This is all London, England.
They did a good job.
They did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
They shot like 2 weeks in New York City, and then everything else 8 weeks was in London, which is really impressive.
Where in London?
Manchester.
The bad part. No, believe it or not, Brixton.
As in Brixton MASH.
As in Brixton Mass Destroyer. There's a lot of, apparently, actually a lot of real gang activity that kind of they were having to keep an eye on, and they actually used a lot of extras there. That's why you don't hear a lot of the gang members talk because
Yeah.
they all have British accents.
Well, that's interesting because then Brixton. Because remember our JD interview?
Mm-hmm.
He said there's a lot of parallels between Brixton and Brooklyn. And at the time in the 70s, Brooklyn was not a safe place.
Well, we're now. You guys totally bought Brixton as Brooklyn.
Yeah,
JD was right.
I totally did.
JD
Yeah.
was right. Well, within minutes, Kersey chases down one gang member and interrupts the assault on a poor lady by Hermosa. Little, was it Bill or Ted from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? He was Bill, right?
Yeah, Bill S. No, or is it Ted Esquire? No,
I thi-
Bill Esquire.
I think he was Bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Bill.
Bill's trying. He's on the hood of this lady's car as she drives around trying to. I'm gonna rape you, bitch. Well, Bronson.
That's not what Bill's
Bronson
supposed
comes.
to say.
Bronson comes out of the darkness with a tire iron and beats the shit out of him. An old man watches all of Bronson Wild Stallions. An old man watches all this going down. He notices there's a new guy in town doing some stuff, Kersey, and he whistles and calls Kersey over. The friendliest guy's name is Bennett, and it turns out he was Charlie's neighbor, Bronson's friend, who called him there.
And he did see Kersey get hauled off to jail.
Correct. He was Charlie's neighbor and an old World War II buddy of Charlie's.
Of course, he couldn't come out and tell the cops that the guy just got there, and
No, he stayed put for that. Hey, like you said, you don't want to make waves. Boy, I forget the guy's actor's name, but he's been in so much. He was in Psycho, for God's sake. He was the detective in Psycho. I felt bad for him. Like, now you're in, like, this is how you end your career in this fucking thing.
hey, it's a check.
He fills Kersey in on the lay of the land and gives him the keys to Charlie's apartment. It's been paid for till the end of the month. I wonder what that rent goes for. $2?
Actually, it was $2 while Charlie was there, but now that it's not rent controlled after his death, it was probably about a good $900.
No, the hipsters come in as $2,400. All right, but there's a chance I'll be killed within a day. All right, I'll pay it.
It's all right.
And it's got 2 rooms.
We've got a Starbucks going in on the corner.
A Chipotle? I'm in. So Kersey now has an apartment. He's going to stay at Charlie's place. Kersey makes a quick phone call. And he's very pleased by whoever he's talking to on the other end. When he hangs up the phone, he tells Bennett, "My friend Wildy's coming for a visit. You just take it easy, Bennett. This is my problem now."
Wildy.
Wildy's coming for a visit. Everything's going to be fine. Well, next stop for Kersey is a used car lot where he buys a new sedan. Where's he getting his money? He's not doing architect work anymore.
He's paying cash.
He's paying cash for everything.
Well,
I'm
from the
sure,
victims.
like after he like shoots these guys, he's
I
like
would have
riffling
liked.
through
I
their
would have liked to
pockets.
see him like shoot bad guys and take their money.
Batman style?
Batman's a billionaire. He isn't.
Punisher style?
Yeah, Punisher.
Did Punisher take money?
Oh, yeah.
I think that
Okay,
you would see him Punisher take things.
that'd be weird if Batman did it.
You're a billionaire, for God's sake,
At least
Wayne.
have Boy Wonder do it.
Boy Wonder, do
Well,
your job.
He parks the car right outside the apartment building. Seemingly illogical move. A confused Bennett, who's just hanging out outside, asks, "What's with the car?" "It's bait." Later that evening, as Kersey and Bennett enjoy a lovely dinner in the building with an elderly Jewish couple, Kersey basically invites himself to dinner.
I noticed something smelled good
Bennett-
on the first floor.
He said, "Bennett, take me to where those appetizing smells are emitting from." It's probably.
Would you like to join us? And it's a nice older
Yes.
Jewish couple. Would you like to join us for dinner? Yes, let me go change. And he
Goes-
comes back with
puts
like
on
a
his-
full
Do you mind if I get cleaned up?
three-piece suit.
Well, he totally barged that dinner party. More on that later. Paul politely excuses himself from the table when they hear the car windows smashing outside.
Excuse
and he
me.
strolls outside very casually and to confront the two gang members. "Hey, what's the problem?" he calmly asks. "Huh? Get the fuck out of my face," one of the gang says as he ripped the radio out of the dashboard. He's inspecting it. "The car," I said. "What's the problem?" "We're stealing it, asshole. What's it to you?" "It's my car." This whole scene.
I know.
"Well, now you're gonna die," the punks tell him as they whip out their switchblades. But Kersey whips out something too. "Tug, get your head out of the gutter. Not that." He whips out a gun
Oh.
and he shoots them both point blank in the chest, killing their asses. And then he goes back inside and finishes supper.
Which I gotta ask the question. Also, besides the apocalyptic landscape, apparently it's just being littered with dead bodies and no one's questioning it.
Trash days tomorrow. They'll pick him up. Hey,
Laundry day, nothing clean.
he sent a message, boys. He sent a message. Yeah, there's a guy that's going to go around killing everybody. It's pretty obvious. I'm not into subtlety. The next morning, after beating up a thug trying to rob some of his new neighbors while they left the grocery store, Kersey's pointed out to Fraker as the new troublemaker on turf. And Fraker recognized him from the jail cell, and he vows to take care of him. Which apparently only entails him making a crank call to Kersey up in the apartment. "I know who you are, and I'm going to get you." And he hangs up. That's your crime boss? "I'm telling you, you better get out of here." Who
Good
is this? I got to go.
Good move, boss. He's scared.
He made a crank call.
It just doesn't make much sense because you just walked into the gang after prison, stabbed the second,
Slice the guy's neck, but now you're like,
leave.
"Is your refrigerator running?
I was just about to do that.
Do you have
Is your
Prince Albert in a
refrigerator
can?" There's a funny moment after he punched that robber outside the grocery store. There's this little black kid, probably about 10 years old, that looks at Kersey. He's like, "Yeah," and he gives him a fist bump, or he gives a fist pump up in the air, and Kersey looks at him and smiles like, I don't know why, but I laughed so hard at that little fist pump from
'Cause it's-
Charles Bronson.
It's Bronson. It's 66 years old.
But I
Bronson
think
being down with
that's
it.
why Charles Bronson was still in movies. Those little moments, like, that was awesome.
Actually,
Michael Dudikoff couldn't pull off that little smile. And
I
fist
think
bump.
you're dead right on that because
It just brought a smile to my face.
Bronson is so stoic.
The minute he shows any kind
When
of
there's emotion,
anything,
you're like, ooh, there it is, there it is.
He smiled and it made me smile.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what else brings a smile to my face, boys?
What's that?
It makes me pump my fist in the air.
Right on.
Liga Underground Coronetta tins from Drew Estate.
Oh.
These 4x32 short smokes are perfect for this time of year. Still get a little chilly here in the evenings. Liga Underground cigars are a Liga Privada created by Drew Estate's Torcederos for their own personal enjoyment. Their unique Mexican Odapan Negro Ultimo Corte wrapper harvest is delayed over 4 weeks, resulting in a higher natural sugar content and a richer, creamier flavor. I love the Underground. I can vouch for that. Add the Brazilian Matafina and Nicaraguan long fillers, T52 Connecticut stock cut and cured Habano binder, and you've got a smoke that's lush, smooth, sweet, and so marvelously complex. You'll definitely want more. So what are you waiting for? Order yourself a handful of tins today, like right now. Do it, you punk.
Now you have time.
Now you can do it.
Now you can do it.
The next day, as Kersey's taking a walk in the neighborhood, he witnesses an elderly black woman successfully fighting off a would-be mugger, slapping him and hitting him with a purse. The tides are turning, boys.
Kersey's making a difference.
He's making a difference. He's inspiring these people to stand up for themselves. And you know who else he's inspired somehow? Remember that attractive young blonde public defender from the beginning of the film? At least I think she's attractive. It's hard to tell behind those thick, huge eyeglasses she wears. Those things cover like her entire face. Well, her name is Catherine Davis. She's the public defender that tried to get him to sue the city, and he refused. Maybe it was like 20 minutes ago. Yeah. She somehow tracked Kersey down to this ghetto. How, I don't know. She's taken a cab into the hellhole just to invite him over to her place for dinner Friday night. Seems legit.
No,
seriously.
it doesn't.
Seriously, how is this anything that would ever happen?
This is the most ridiculous thing.
But he's not surprised at all.
I deal with this a lot.
All right, I'll be there.
I'll stop and pick up a bottle of wine.
I'll bring dessert. My penis. I'll say it again later. This subplot with this chick makes no sense.
No.
It doesn't.
How anyone looked at the script and was like, I think this girl's really well developed. I really believe the progression of this relationship.
Who thinks in this one?
I forgot all about her. She was a nothing.
He needs a love interest.
Exactly. This is a straight up
He does. He needs
demographic. Let's formula.
It's kind of like the Vietnamese girl with Rambo. That movie could have been just fine without a love interest, but they had to add that little something on the boat.
You know, statistics show that we might get the women to sit through this 98 body count movie if we have a love interest.
You really think women are really dying to see a Charlie Bronson love scene?
66-year-old Charles Bronson? Yes, they are.
Hey, babe, I know you don't have
Or
any
could
interest in
it-
this film, but I hear there's a
maybe
love
with
scene
Bronson.
with Charlie Bronson.
I won't do it unless there's a love scene.
Yeah, exactly.
He was
want a
actually
love scene.
in a really rough place during this film. His wife, Jo Ireland, the actress, was really struggling with cancer. I'm not sure, she would die soon after this, but he was in London with his 2 daughters and his wife. She was really sick. He was apparently, which you can kind of tell if you, in retrospect, really not feeling good on this entire shoot. Probably because he's 66 years old, being forced to do like young man action stuff. But this love stuff just is ridiculous. And whatever executives, like, I think we'd sell more tickets if we show Charlie Bronson kiss a girl 30 years younger than him.
It made no sense.
It makes no
Absolutely not.
I'm sure I'll bring that up again. Tut, you are starting your final third of the cigar. Yax, you're actually blazing through this thing pretty good. You're well over halfway
Yes,
done.
I have got just a little bit left.
Anything new? The first cigar of the night before the show I smoked for photographs, I noticed a bit of a change in the second half. Are you guys getting anything new in the final third?
I'm getting far more of the nuttiness coming in on that final third.
That's what she said.
It's really, really nice. I still got that nice, pleasant spiciness going on.
The
on
nut,
the Retro Hill.
the roasted nuts come through a lot more in this final third. They kind of blow out the coffee that was kind of there. For me, it's just kind of like an roasted almonds with a creamy back note,
Yeah.
and then that spice and that what is this? The
Cardamom.
on the retro. It's unique. It's a
I
unique.
have to go taste cardamom.
It's
when
a
I get
unique-
home.
it's a unique-
Like, oh, this is nothing like this.
You have some at your house?
Yes. Fucking Tut Ramsey over here.
He's got the Apu mustache now. He's doing Indian food at home.
Pleased to be making your cardamom.
Am I allowed to say that? Am I in some kind of trouble now?
Yes.
I think so.
No, you did.
You know, maybe I should just talk to my attorney. It's unique. It's the especially this last third. It's given me something I haven't really gotten a cigar in a while. I like it a lot. Price point or too early?
Not bad for a car driver.
Bus driver. Price point? Too soon?
No. Well,
I think we all
don't-
have.
If we don't do it now,
We've all got a little bit of ways to go, but I'll start with you this time. Tut.
I will go. $10.25.
10.25.
10.25.
Raise the music just a little bit, Tut.
I think it's a 950.
There we go. 950. 10.25. You're
1875. No.
both horribly wrong.
Oh my God.
Really?
MSRP, I tried to get clarification on this. Best I could tell is $8.50.
No.
Well,
Yes. Boxes of 20 can be found over at our friends at Famous Smoke Shop for $153.99. That brings it down to about $7.69 a stick. So I'm going to go with that $8.50, which I'm very comfortable at for this
Yeah.
cigar.
I am going
I'm
to send
surprised.
out a message to somebody and double check that.
I'm pretty sure I'm right. Might even be high, but I guarantee you it's not higher than $8.50. You like that, don't you?
I do.
Tut really likes that.
Which one is this?
Me.
This is the 2012
I
Corojo.
feel like I
Corojo.
bring forth like an abacus to like work this out somehow. Like
I think it's a bargain at $8.50.
It is.
It's going to be a good hour and a half smoke
hour and a half smoke.
with lots of unique flavor. A little bit of transitions going from the coffee to the chocolate, or not coffee to the nuts to the mint to the creaminess. Man, I really like it. I do like it better than I enjoyed the Connecticut 2012 we did last year.
Yes.
It was just a really nice Connecticut, but this actually has some personality to it. I like it. Tut, agree?
I do like it. It does have some personality to
It's unique.
it.
No, it's
I like the fact that, especially catching that roasted peanuts on the back end. I really appreciated that.
And agreed. It's
And at $8.50, that's a really good deal for this kind of smoke on that kind of price value. I'm
There you
all
go.
over it.
and I think it's going great with the beer. The beer's a little bit heavier than maybe I would, but I don't want to give it something so similar to it.
I like this beer because it is dark and it does have a richer flavor, but it's very low IBU. So there's no bitterness there. It's 25, 30 IBU.
Yeah, and the chocolate's not a heavy.
Right. So
weigh you
with
down
this
chocolate.
cigar at its strength level, with the flavor profile,
Yeah.
How do you spell Corojo?
Croojo.
Nailed it.
it's a lot of O's, an RJ, something.
Corojo. All right. Well, we'll see. I couldn't get an answer on MSRP. I know that when I was given when I acquired these cigars, MSRP was $8.50.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they would go up. And obviously, a Famous by a box are about $7 and change a stick. So we'll see. If it's vastly different, I'll let you know. When Kersey gets back to the apartment building, from his encounter with Catherine, he learns that some crooked cops have confiscated the Jewish family's firearm, and as soon as the cops left, Fraker's gang broke in and stole their television set. Kersey, you don't need guns, you just need your brains. He constructs a booby trap for them. Remember, he was an architect. He's got some smarts. Where the next time somebody climbs in their window, a board will spring up from the floor and smack them in the face with 2 nails sticking out. We're thinning the herd, he tells them.
What's that going to do? I mean, I'm going to kill them.
Well, that night, after Kersey once again invites himself over to dinner at their apartment, I couldn't help but notice the enticing aroma coming from your apartment. Once again, it smells delicious. Would you like to join us, Paul? If you insist.
Well, you're already sitting at the table.
You've already sat down, Paul. It's got a foregone conclusion.
I
more
didn't
wine?
put on my fancy suit for nothing.
Well, they barely sat down to dinner when they hear a scream coming from the back bedroom, and they rush in to discover that the trap worked, as there's 2 front teeth stuck in the board.
Well, I like
Can
how
you
they
imagine living in a place where pretty much every minute you have to worry about some dude crawling in your windows?
Crawling in your window.
Which, this is what also gets me. In this kind of neighborhood, why there are no bars on any windows anywhere.
Well, they don't have AC. They need the breeze.
And also what I can't figure out is why you don't... Sure, you can see everything else, but why were there no window trucks? Because they're constantly having to repair windows.
That's the business to be into.
Wait, what was that MSRP?
$8.50.
You're right. $8.49. From our friends at Smokers Abbey in Austin.
$8.49, and I'm right. They were that quick to respond, huh?
They were that quick.
If you're looking for a pretty cool new place in the Austin area to smoke, they helped us out. I'll help them out. Smokers Abbey. Tud is a regular there. They've got a brewery right down the street, Redhorn. They carry a lot of our go-to brands, Southern Draw, Black Label.
Very, very tasty.
And Oscar.
And Oscar.
So go check out Smokers Abbey. Well, the next day when Paul's unable to chase down a mugger, he's old.
Well, yeah, but the other young guy can't keep up
Yeah,
either.
he can't help either. Rodriguez, I believe, is the other guy's name. Bennett asks, "Hey, when's your friend Wildy coming to show up? Will he really be able to help us as much as you say he can?"
Yes.
Well, a few hours later, a package arrives. Wildy arrives in the form of a package. And in that package is a large wooden box. And in that wooden box is a very large pistol. Only it ain't just an ordinary looking pistol, now is it?
No, it is not.
Kersey's gun in this movie is just fucking ridiculous. It's a Wildy 475 designed by 357. This is a 475 designed by a guy named Wildy J. Moore, who owned a weapons factory in Connecticut. He described the...
Is it Wildy or Wilby?
That was Wildy.
Wildy. Okay, I'm sorry. Wildy. He described the elephant gun's impact as this. It's like having a 1,400-pound bullet dropped on you from the top of a skyscraper. The only problem is Wildy uses special gigantic bullets. But of course, Kersey's dead friend Charlie has the equipment in his apartment necessary to make the bullets from scratch, so they're covered.
Well, I'm looking at these bullets, and I'm sitting here going, that
This
is
old guy has
literally like
everything in his apartment.
each bullet looks like it costs about $15 a piece. These punks, they're costing me too much money.
No, nothing's too good for our special friends.
Well, in the Wildy case, there was 2 bullets. Like, you're never going to need more than this. Wrong. I need 1,000.
Well, you know,
But hey, guess what? Charlie has an ammunition press.
Well, you know what? I'm going to save
Is
it
it
because
really that simple? You just tap some gunpowder into a casing and roll it up into the press, and there you go.
roughly, yeah. He does do it correctly. Measures it, weighs it to make sure that it's the right amount, puts it in, puts the thing on top, goes through a little motion to stamp in, put the actual bullet into the shell.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool little scene where he's making the bullets.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't believe that Charlie...
Okay, don't tell my wife, so when I make my blacksmith and land, I'm going to have an ammunition
I'm
press
just wondering how much shit exactly Charlie stole from the military. Because we're going to learn that Charlie took a lot home from the war with him. Remember the
And there was no officer there saying, Charlie,
No.
we can't let you do this.
remember the Hispanic tenant, I guess Rodriguez's wife, who was almost raped by Hermosa earlier in the film before Kersey beat his ass with a tire iron? Well, she's leaving the supermarket late at night by herself. Why would anybody do that in this neighborhood?
I'm sorry, it's her husband.
The sun
I'd be
goes
like,
down?
No,
You
you're
are inside.
It's kind of like what is that? I know you didn't watch it because it has Will Smith, but I Am Legend.
Yes.
Dude, when that sun sets, you get your ass inside and you bar those windows.
You don't even you know what? I've got 30 minutes to spare. No. I'm going to be inside 4 hours.
Well, Fraker and his men, as she's getting into her car, they kidnap her, they rape her, and ultimately they kill her. Was she the one from Star Trek?
Yes, Marina Sirtis.
She was Star Trek Next Generation. A
Counselor Troy.
What?
That was her. Did you not recognize her?
I did not recognize her.
Oh, my God. Yes, Counselor Troy.
I've watched every single freaking episode, and I never made that correlation.
Yeah, that's totally her.
You get to see her boobies.
Totally did.
You're going to go back and watch it again? You're wait a minute, 48-hour rental? Tonight is, okay. I know what I'm doing over breakfast.
Counselor Troy.
It's only for it's only for two seconds.
I'm
Rewind.
sensing a lot of confusion.
Well, Kersey, of course, time to make some bullets. He didn't say that, but how funny would that be? Time to make the
And
donuts?
I'm wondering, at this point, was
Time to make the bullets.
He was an architect, but he must have been a damn good architect because he literally has $8,000 worth of bullets.
Just make a lot of money in architecture.
I mean, I'm looking at that gun. I'm sitting there looking at those bullets. This is it's a
Where did he
1985.
learn to
but
do this?
This isn't a 50-cent bullet.
He was a pacifist. He tells Bennett
I was
he met
conscientious
he met
objector.
Charlie during the Korean War. I was a conscientious. What's it called? I can't.
Conscientious objector.
Conscientious objector. If you can imagine that. You, the man who's killed more than yes. How
You,
do I
the
have
man
any
who's
bullets?
making his own bullets in my living room?
There's a guy breaking into the window. Now he's dead.
You're not objecting to that. Well, as soon as darkness settles in the next night, Kersey throws an expensive Nikon camera over his shoulder and heads out to buy an ice cream bar. As he strolls down the street eating his ice cream, one of Fraker's main men, known as the Giggler, who's the same punk that Kersey got winded trying to chase after he snatched a purse the other day.
Oh, the giggler.
Well, he runs up behind Kersey, grabs the camera, and takes off, giggling all the way. That's why they call him the Giggler.
He's just a giggling fool.
Go see my smash hit new
Well-
film, Giggle All the Way.
Kersey doesn't have to run anymore. Wildy does the running for him. Kersey pulls out the elephant pistol, aims, and shoots a hole through Giggler the size of a chicken pot pie. Oh my God, dude. This hole in this guy's chest. The neighborhood comes alive, erupting in cheers. They've all been ripped
Yeah.
off. The Gigglers have stolen all their shit over the years.
But once again, I'm sitting here there because it literally everybody is hanging out of their fucking window
Cheering.
well, they're all just sitting around going, this neighborhood sucks. Hey, that dude just killed the Giggler. Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. That's what we need, is someone to take care of this shit. You know, I have to say it now. Later on, you're gonna just see something that just infuriates me beyond all belief. Everybody has a fucking gun.
Oh yeah, no. All right,
Hold on,
yeah, we'll
hold
get to that. They just didn't want to make the first move.
Oh,
As Kersey calmly walks off, they're all cheering their asses off. He's probably going to go back to that Jewish people's house to get a late night snack.
well, I think he was going
I
back
still
because he
smell
dropped
something
his
good
ice
here.
cream. I need a new ice cream.
I couldn't help but smell something. We're sleeping, Paul. You maybe whip something up for me.
I did just take out the Giggler.
You know what else makes for a tasty late night snack, boys?
What?
Acid crushed tins from our friends at Drew Estate.
Go on.
All acid cigars are carefully handcrafted using some of the world's finest tobaccos, with more than 140 herbs, botanicals, and other essential oils to get their unique aroma and flavor. Experiencing acid cigars is the only way to truly understand them. Similar to all Drew Estate cigars, their construction is flawless since they are rolled in Sumatra, Maduro, Connecticut, and African wrappers. Head on over to your favorite cigar retailer now and grab a tin of 5 Acid Crushes and let us know what you think.
All right. So you're saying it's like
And now you're having a happy smoking experience.
so it's kind of like Papa Frida's in a tin except with acid.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Papa's Fritas might be a little bigger.
Yeah.
I think these are all 4x32. I think Papa's Fritas might be a little bigger.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But I will say I have personally ordered a tin of the Undercrown from Drew Estate, and I will be sampling them soon. So hopefully I'll
Yeah.
be able to contribute something to the conversation. So the next day, the cops are all congratulating themselves on the decrease in crime and how many less complaints they've been receiving from the neighborhood.
It's all good. Our efforts have really been.
Our efforts to improve communication within the community must really be working, Lieutenant. Don't peck yourself on the back, idiot. Dude, Lieutenant Schreiker has no... He hates cops, and he is a cop. You morons, it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, this guy really loves cops, this director.
I just wanted to be making smart-ass comments. It's almost like they got someone else to do your job for you.
Yeah, the only thing is this guy can aim and shoot. Well, Kersey's arriving
I just wanted to like berate Kowalski. Yes, sir, you suck.
Well, they totally would be named Kowalski. While they're patting themselves on the back, Kersey's arriving over at Catherine's apartment for a chicken dinner and some scotch.
Is that what we're calling it?
yeah.
Chicken dinner?
It's not matzo balls, but I'll eat it, I suppose. He loves Jewish food.
He does. Well, that's all he's been eating.
Yeah, because he barges into their apartment every night. She's clearly infatuated with Kersey, despite their 30-year age difference and her knowing absolutely nothing about him.
It's the mustache.
Something strikes me about you. What could it be?
He asks,
The mustache.
do you like your job defending criminals? And she says the right things. You know, I feel like I'm making a difference. There's a lot of good people out there. Before suddenly she snaps and starts yelling, people have to start fighting back, damn it. Things are so out of balance.
You would think she would be a
Well,
prosecutor.
first of all, that's sweet music to Kersey's ears. Things are out of balance. People do need to start fighting back.
I am.
And you're fucking crazy. She was so calm a minute ago. Yeah, I'm content with my life. I really like it here, Paul. I kind of live in a quirky little neighborhood and things are going good. Then she just goes crazy. It's a ridiculous scene. Every moment with this chick is ridiculous. Her character has bad dialogue, nonsensical motivations.
And horrible music.
There's horrible love music. There's zero reason for her to be in this movie, but fuck it. Let's do the Mullet Beach Australian thing. Fuck it. Kersey gives her a quick peck on the lips. And whenever they do that, they go to a really uncomfortable mustache close-up of just his lips close. Did you notice that? They
Mustache.
punch into this little...
But
Mustache approved.
is it him?
Oh, it's him.
Bring in the stunt mustache.
Stunt stash? No, there's no stunt stash. And then he retires for the evening. He calls it a night. She's like, can't you stay? Please make love to me, old, craggly old man I know nothing about.
I've got to go kill people. I mean,
No,
I've got to
retire for
my-
the evening. Well, he doesn't really call it a night, does he? When he gets back to his apartment, Fraker and his gang lure him outside, and soon there's a pretty intense shootout and chase scene. Kersey loses Wildy in the action, and he's forced to use his hands and some steel pipes to deliver street justice.
He just murders them.
He gets
straight up like,
he gets
I
stabbed.
don't need a gun to kill people.
Dude, he gets stabbed in the side, but hey, this one he's smart. He's wearing a bulletproof vest. He just pulls the knives out. And when a punk makes the mistake of following Kersey up on the rooftop, he tosses an inanimate dummy that's supposed to look like the punk off the roof, crashing down on top of the car. Dude, $13 million budget, that dummy. And then they couldn't even put the actor on the roof of the car. They just showed the dummy lay on the hood of the car. Oh, it's terrible. Special effects 0, Kersey 1. I'm sorry, gang member 0.
Well, they got to pay for that. They got to pay for that sweet, sweet stash.
Kersey 1. The next morning, Lieutenant Schreiker pays Paul a visit at his apartment. He tells the vigilante, you know what? Take it down a notch. The coroner's having to hire extra help. People are getting nosy. Like, It's getting a little out of hand. It's not finished. Fraker's not finished. It's just like cockroaches. You got to kill them all, or else what's the point?
When you unleash the mad dog, you can't get mad at the dog.
Kersey's doing what you asked him to do. You can't stop him now. Schreiker certainly can't argue with that logic, so he leaves, and Paul starts making some eggs for breakfast. Hey, he's finally making himself some food for once.
The poor Jewish
these egg-
couple
these-
downstairs
these-
is like, finally.
They smell the eggs. They're like, oh, thank God.
No, they're actually, what's that smell coming up
Oh, wait,
there?
no. Then he's like, maybe I'll go down to the Cab Bras, get some bagels and lox. God, really? Can you just leave him alone for one? But his breakfast is cut short when Fraker slits the throat of the elderly corner store owner's wife in the building, and he calls Kersey to tell him it's your fault. I slit her throat.
Well, no, he calls-
You started this war.
He calls the corner
Well, he
store
calls,
dude.
he calls her husband like, "Oh, hey, your wife's up here dying. You might
I
want to
think
get
that's
up here."
like one of the
pretty ru-
coldest fucking scenes,
Pretty
man.
ruthless.
It is.
And the old guy looks up at the apartment, sees Fraker in the window,
In his, oh,
and then he calls Kersey. Oh, by the way, you're the reason she's dead.
hey, I told you.
I did this.
Well, at this point, you can't heap any more guilt. He's clearly not over the loss of his wife and his family.
Oh,
You
this
just
guy.
keep-
This guy
you
has
just-
no guilt.
You just keep adding stuff on as if like somehow it's going to make him worse. I have to kill everybody.
You're not going to break this guy.
He's broken.
He's broken. Very good. Kersey heads up to Bennett's apartment to come up with a new game plan, and Bennett tells him, "Well, Charlie gave me one last gift that's going to solve everything." Oh yeah? What's that? Oh, it's a monstrous 30 caliber Browning machine gun he keeps in his kitchen pantry. Is that a babka cake I see that string of ammo under? I love babka cake. No, he doesn't say that. It'd be funny if he
I
did, though.
thought he actually did.
I just love Bronson obsessed with Jewish cuisine. No, he's got this huge machine gun Charlie gave him in his little pantry, his little. What's in the bread box? Oh, it's this giant artillery fucking cannon.
It's a Browning automatic machine gun.
But surprisingly, Kersey says he doesn't want to use this weapon of mass destruction, as tempting as it is, because it might hurt too many people. Which is, of course, like me saying I don't want to take that shot of Jameson at 1 a.m. because you know damn well 5 minutes later I'm taking that shot. And you know damn well he's using that machine gun really damn quick.
If only I could put them all in one place and then use it,
No,
then
there's-
only they would be hurt.
There has to be a more peaceable solution. Who are we joking? Give me the gun.
I was about to say, you've just been mowing down an entire neighborhood.
It's too much. Well, speaking of Bronson firing off shots, Catherine invites him over in the middle of the night, and they end up doing it. You do not see them do it, thank God. That would have been too much. I love seeing with this.
He's not.
Well, guess what? She's
No,
just-
I loved it because it's like, I've decided I'm leaving the city.
She
I'm going to
decided
go away. But I had to
Their-
see you one more time.
their first date. She told him how much she loved her life. Next date, she screws him. She's decided just like that to leave her job, her apartment, her entire life, and flee the city with no real explanation. And then she bizarrely wants Kersey to come with her to the country. Well, I might just do that, but I'm hungry. Well, want to get a bite to eat?
Let's go get some ice cream.
Do you know a place that's open late? Oh, I know a great place, Paul. Dude, his key is his stomach.
And again, why are you walking outside after the sun
So they
sets?
head out for a late night bite, but not before Paul tells her to pull over to check his P.O. box along the way. I might have got another gun. Man, you know, the minute he
It's
leaves
the traveling wildies.
the minute he leaves her alone out in that car on the street, you know what's going to happen. You know it.
Yeah.
Because he gives her that one last look before he goes in the post office, and she gives him that
You could be the
everything's
one.
great, I've never been happier look. In Paul Kersey's life, the minute a female gives you that I'm so happy look, she's dead. Why would he leave her in the fucking car? Everyone in his life who's special to him, he's left out in a car at night and they die. Take her into the post office with you asshole. I'll be right back.
You're the fourth woman I've dated in 3 years. I need you to come inside with me.
I've been banned from Match.com. It's never a good match.
It's the last match.
Well, sure enough, Fraker and one of his goons show up. They punch out Catherine through the car window, shift the gear to drive, and off she zooms in Kersey's car to her death in a big fiery explosion. Kersey strolls down there, stares at the burning inferno for a second, then puts his hands in his pocket and just walks away. He's seen this a million times.
I was about to say it.
He's seen this song before. He's heard this song a million times.
He literally has the look on his face but without the words of, "Oh no." That's it. I mean,
It's
that's
not even,
it.
it's not even that. It's like,
Oh no.
no.
I was thinking about that.
I'm
Like
shocked.
in today's, it'd be like, oh,
Hey,
why?
I see him looking over at Michael Winner, the director. I can play this two ways. I can look at the burning car and think, or I can look at the burning car and go, is there a difference, Charlie? You know what?
I said 2 ways.
Go with what you feel's best. Well, there's a third way. Let's go with 2.
Can we try it without your hands in your pockets?
No.
Deal.
No dice. Now you're dead. Oh my god, man, this guy. It's just ridiculous. I'm not expecting him to like. I'm not expecting him to like drop to it. I'm not expecting him to drop to it.
He runs down. He runs to the bottom. He stops.
But here's the thing.
I know. And he turns around
And walks off
and walks off.
slowly. Like,
It's the most horrible thing you've ever seen, Charles.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not expecting him to drop to his knees like, no, why? I think it's actually, he was just boning her. She's the one that wanted him to be this, like, thing. They had one dinner and sex.
Yeah, but still.
I'm sure he felt bad. Maybe. I don't know.
I've seen it all before.
I'll meet someone else. I
No.
always do.
This happened just like Los Angeles, New York, Kansas City, Detroit, Cleveland. All the towns I stopped at coming to New York.
I met a girl in Missouri. They cut her head off.
I'm sorry, baby.
Par for the course with this guy.
Well,
She was the 8th love of my life. My depression knows no bounds. I will kill someone.
neither does my hunger. Where's that restaurant?
Maybe they have some more babka cake.
Lieutenant Schreiker shows up, and he has Kersey taken into protective custody. At this point, it's gotten out of hand. And that allows Fraker and his gang to unleash total chaos on the neighborhood.
Oh, my God.
They set Bennett's clock repair shop on fire. Which, who's taking their cuckoo clock in this neighborhood to go get
Well,
fixed?
it wasn't just that. His
Nobody's getting their clock fixed in this damn neighborhood.
Oh, everybody's getting their clock fixed in this neighborhood.
It was actually. It wasn't. the clocks
Rodriguez
that-
has his grandfather clock.
It wasn't the clocks that he was fixing. Yes, he made money that way. He was also doing the taxi meter repair.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good
If
good
he was
business.
doing window repair,
But my
I could
question
see.
becomes: is who the fuck is getting a taxi in this fucking war zone?
Catherine. She took a taxi in
I
there.
was about to say,
Yeah, but I get the feeling she took like,
she took it from uptown.
and it was one of those where probably the cabbie was like, "You want to go where?" What?
Actually, I'm surprised the cabbie was like, "Oh no, the company won't let me drive down there." Have you seen it?
I can't stop, so I'm gonna slow down to about 10 miles an hour and jump out.
Here's half $100 bill. I'll give you the other half when I meet the man of my dreams. I love this man. What was his name again? Well, the crooked cops stand there watching the clock shop burn, and they're doing nothing during this whole thing. When he can't find Kersey for help, Bennett pulls out another of Charlie's vintage machine guns. This guy is like stockpiling. It's an MG42 Rambo 2 style. That thing he wraps bullets around his arm, and he goes out on his fire escape to. You know what? I don't need Kersey. I can do this myself. Oh, jams.
This gun is so
Well, first of all,
heavy.
the bad guys run off like they scatter like cockroaches, and then when they see that his trigger jammed, it's jammed. Get him! They run up the fire escape, beat him to beat the
But
shit
I'm
out of
sitting
him.
here going like, wait a second. My gun jammed. But they were like literally 100 yards
But
away.
he's old.
They're young
he
and
was
he's
like
old.
70.
Oh, and I'm sorry, the gun jammed. That's weird. It's only been under Charlie's bed for 40 years.
Also,
Never been oiled. Never been anything.
also, I'm like, I use these guns all the time. I don't know how it works. It's jammed, and I'm just gonna
yeah, he did.
I'm gonna pull on this lever and act like I don't know what's going on.
Well, so the thugs climb up the fire escape and they toss Bennett's stunt double over into a dumpster. Dude, that fat dude that looked nothing like Bennett, they just put Bennett's hat on him and threw this guy into the dumpster.
His last thought was that this went so horribly wrong.
You know what? I thought I was going to have a big moment here, and I just an asshole.
Life, it is over.
I want Kersey to look when he goes to visit him in the hospital. Not so easy, is it? Well, Schreiker lets Kersey visit Bennett in the hospital, where Bennett essentially tells Paul, "Please kill them all for me." You got it. Naturally, Paul slips out the hospital to do the window. He slips out to do just that. But he needs to pick up some more packages at the post office first. Who is sending him all these guns? That's never answered. Who's he calling on the phone to send him all these weapons?
I buy everything from Guns R Us.
Amazon Prime. Seriously, who's giving him these guns?
Oh, that's not going to be invented for another 30 years. That's how ahead of the time I am.
So Kersey and the recently widowed Latino guy, Rodriguez, huddle up in Kersey's apartment to prepare for war. Besides Charlie's .30 caliber anti-aircraft gun, Kersey's new packages, contains a missile launcher and missiles. Armor piercing. What missile isn't armor piercing?
Well, I love the fact I've got Wieldy and this gun and these rocket launchers and all this, and then Rodriguez comes in. I've got a zip gun.
Which is just essentially a pipe and a string.
Yeah.
It's like a pop gun.
It's a homemade
Yes.
thing. All it literally is
shoot shotgun shells.
Hey, Paul. Can I have one of your guns?
Can I have
maybe?
that crappy revolver that you don't
Hold
even
on.
want?
These guns are so heavy. I've got 15 machine guns on one shoulder. I've got a zip gun. I got a potato gun here. I'm shooting potato spuds at people. You'll be fine.
Exactly.
Hey, that guy makes the most of the potato gun.
He does, but there's a great scene. I mean, seriously, he's just.
Oh, we'll get to that scene.
Oh my god.
Well, it turns out he's going to need all this because Fraker has called in reinforcements from the surrounding boroughs. Yeah, is that right? Boroughs?
Yes, he does, because he simply
That's
gets
correct.
on the phone as he did before to Kersey. Leave. Hey,
I need help.
need reinforcements.
Who are they? A shit ton of gang members have shown up on
Oh
motorcycles.
no! This time it's bikers.
It's biker gangs have shown up to help Fraker to take down the 166-year-old Kersey. Hey,
And
I
also-
need help. Bring everything you got. Well, we got like 2,000 bicycles. Who
Do it.
Who are we taking on here? It's a 70-year-old man, and he's got a Mexican guy with a potato gun.
He
Oh, God,
literally
run
fire,
away.
He can literally fire one round every 20 seconds.
He's got
You
a
cannot
big,
defeat him.
He's got a big gun. It shoots one bullet, but it's an impressive piece. Well, from this moment on,
That's what she said.
that is what she said. Speaking of old chubs, I really like this beer. It's tasty.
It is.
It is.
Sorry I keep referring to you guys' penises as old chubs. I'll stop doing that at the end of the episode.
Okay.
Boy, it's got a really unique profile. I like it.
I'm a fan of Scotch ales.
We should probably next beer switch to the Goodnight and see what that's all about.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
we do have another beer down
Yeah,
there.
I wish I would have thought of that before we finished the cigar, but
Oh, well.
eh.
Well, technically it is good night.
Good night.
Good night. I
Good
thought
night,
that's why it
Sweet
would be a good one
Prince.
for the movie. Good night, Sweet
Yeah, but
Prince.
Sadly enough, it has a sad story behind it. So
The beer does.
yes, it does.
Oh,
What's the sad?
well, we'll wait. Let's drink these beers. And
All right.
let's hurry up and drink these beers so we can get to the sad story.
Wait.
No, I'm dead.
Now I'm dead.
I thought we drink beer because we heard the sad story.
We drink beer because we are the sad story. where was I?
I don't know. You started off the podcast when it's dark, and now we're in darkness. Thanks, Paul Kersey.
Paul Kersey, take us out of darkness. From this moment on, the movie's just total batshit crazy, and by that I mean batshit crazy fucking awesome. As the Latino guy Rodriguez stands next to him holding the box of ammunition, Kersey runs around the neighborhood mowing down bad guys with a giant .30 caliber machine gun. Could he really hold the barrel?
No.
That thing would get so hot as it's spitting out those bullets, right?
Correct.
He couldn't hold it anyways. The recoil would have knocked him on his ass.
And he's 70 years old, and it looks like a really heavy piece of weaponry.
But I think this sets the tone for
The most batshit.
20
just the
minutes
80s
of
in
film
general.
history.
We wanted this guy to hold a gun that's impossible to hold and fire and kill multiple people.
It's like the last scene in Hooper, except now we've gone body count.
It's like the Rambo 2 shootout in the
Yes.
I mean, it's or Commando when he finally gets to Valverde.
Yeah.
This is Bronson's moment to shine. And
He just
boy,
sent out 400 enemies. I've got 2 shotgun shells. I can win.
he's killing dudes on these motorcycles. He's killing dudes on rooftops. If you're a dude with a red mark on your forehead, you're dead meat. I'm leaving my own red marks. No, he doesn't say that, but that'd be cool. That'd be a good line.
It's like
I'm leaving my own red marks.
it's like Kurt Russell in Tombstone. I see a red sash. I kill the man
No.
wearing it.
I think Bronson maybe has like maybe 20 lines in this whole movie. They don't give him any good one-liners. Cars are on fire. Citizens are getting randomly whipped by guys on with chains. It's like that time we were supposed to host that podcast summit at Berkeley University
No.
before the liberal snowflake students shut us down. That was an ugly scene.
It was.
Well,
Still is.
we did what we had to do.
Thanks, Steve Bannon. The motorcycle gang showed up
What
ready
was
to...
that his name? I kept calling him Steve O'Banion.
I think it's Banyan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No wonder he kept looking at me weird.
that's probably why he sicked all those kids on us.
Yeah.
But we had old Chubb.
Good old Chubb.
Good old Chubbs. The motorcycle gang showed up ready to play as they tossed grenades and Molotov cocktails through all the windows of the houses and apartments. They blow the shit out of the corner store. There's random people running around, their bodies encased in flames. The budget on this sucker was around double the last film, and it really shows. The last 20 minutes is like a Mad Max movie. You said it
is.
earlier. This is totally like after a nuclear apocalypse. It's crazy. The .30 caliber finally runs out of ammo, so Kersey takes to putting holes in guys with his trusty old Wildy and his buddy Rodriguez with his
With his little
potato gun.
shooter.
All I got is this BB gun, Kersey. You'll be fine.
Can I please have one of your guns?
Just make a loud noise.
Aim for their eyes. They can't shoot from 10 feet away. Dude, there's some shootouts where those bad guys are 10 feet from me to you to Kersey.
Yes.
And they can't shoot him. But boy, with Wildy, he knocks them across the city. Actually, they do shoot him in the belly at one point, and he looks at the holes in his sweater, kind of annoyed, like, my favorite sweater. Like, he looks at it like, oh, damn it.
Who's
But
wearing
of course
bulletproof?
he's wearing a
He's wearing a
bulletproof-
bulletproof
That's
vest.
not the way a bulletproof vest works. Kersey would be on the ground. Oh, my organs. I'm dying. 'Cause
My-
he is.
All of a sudden,
my
oh.
third to last dead girlfriend gave me this sweater.
All of a sudden, I'm imagining killing Gunther in hands. That's not how it works.
Is that not bullets? They don't just stick in your...
No.
No.
No. That is not
That
it
force
at all.
has to go somewhere.
Well, the cops show up, but they don't really do shit, as they just mostly join the citizens in watching the neighborhood burn down. Some officers do heroically try to fight the gangs, but they're blasted to smithereens. I mean, like 20 cops get killed in like 2 minutes, and there's still no reinforcements, no urgency by the city to do anything.
Send in RoboCop.
In the middle of all this insanity, a few punks decide to yank a woman out of her house and rape her. There's always those guys. Hey, with all this shit going on, let's rape somebody. But Kersey and Wildy save the day once again. He blows them away. And inspired by Kersey, others what do you know? Everyone in the neighborhood has guns all of a sudden. They start digging in their
single
closets and get their guns
family.
out, and they decide to fight back against Fraker and his army. But they're just as fucking vicious as Fraker. They're beating dudes' brains in with baseball bats. They're shooting dudes in the dick with guns. Actually, I take that back. Nobody's more vicious than Fraker. We cut to him. He sets a building on fire. This old lady runs out in flames, and then he mows her down with his MAC-10. Was that a MAC-10?
It was a MAC-10.
That was ridiculous.
The glorious 80s
I'm going to set an
MAC-10.
old lady on fire, and then as she begs for help. Oh, man, that was awesome. I mean, that was horrible. Beer you?
Yes, please.
We have transitioned beers, as they say in the cigar, beer, film, podcast world. I don't know. We're the only ones that does this. I'm kind of making it up as we go along. What beer? This is the beer we wanted to do.
Yes.
And after one sip, I'm glad we didn't. Not that it's a bad beer, but
it
this
is
would
entirely different.
This would
and
not
compared.
have been the beer
No.
to go with for the cigar.
This is a completely different animal
Tell us about it.
by the same brewery,
Oscar Blues.
Oscar Blues. This is the Gnite Imperial Red.
The good night?
The Gnite.
Good night.
Good night.
The Gnite.
G'_KNIGHT.
Now there's a story behind that, but this is an imperial, as they describe it, Imperial Red IPA.
Hey, you got your red. Is this
So
the
this is
is this
an
the creaminess?
imperial-
Is this the creaminess you always wanted in your red?
So this is
not what I was
three
picturing.
things. And let's start with the root. It's an IPA,
It's very, very, very heavy on
but
the.
it's a red IPA. So a red ale IPA, but an imperial. Red.
I can't even.
I'm going to put IBUs at 82.
I can't even.
60.
Oh,
It is 8.7 ABV and 60 IBU.
You thought it was higher because we were coming off a low.
Now
I think he's wrong. I think the old Chub is 10%.
No. I did a double check on it.
Okay.
Now the Gnite
Damn, that's good.
is as they
You like it?
I love this.
as they describe it. Our Velvet M80 is a hefty, dry hopped, double red IPA
Fucking good.
with a nose full of aroma and a sticky mouthfeel. A multi-middle.
That's what she said.
That's what she said
That's what she said.
before the car burned up.
That's what she said before she burned to death in several pieces.
You did, and it wasn't me that killed you.
I impregnated you, and then you blew up.
Gnite.
Happy Valentine's Day. Sorry.
Gnite supports a surprisingly sensuous finish for a beer of its size.
It is a sensuous finish.
It's brewed to tribute to a fellow Colorado craft beer pioneer and Vietnam vet who died fighting a 2002 wildfire. That's Gnite is actually stands for Gordon Knight.
It's the dead man's
Knight,
beer.
52 years old, died on July 30th, 2002 after his helicopter crashed while he's fighting the Big Elk Meadows forest fire just outside of the Oscar Blues Brewery's hometown of Lyons, Colorado. Knight won the Great American Beer Festival gold medals at 3 different times
That's good.
for his work with the High Country Brewery in 93, the Twisted Pine Brewing Company in 96, and the Wolf Tongue Brewery in 98. Each of the champion beers were very different than the others, but they shared one thing in common. All were made on the same 4.5 barrel system that he took with him every time he went to a different brewery.
Interesting.
So
It is delicious.
This is
I will say.
Have you had this before?
I have not. We have not.
Have you
had
tried
this.
it tonight?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think? It's phenomenal.
To Gordon Knight,
To Gordon Knight.
To Gordon Knight,
firefighter.
it has that IPA. It's
fracking
got that
good.
citrus. It's got the floral.
It's got
But
the
then
cream.
it's got the cream.
It is creamy. It is a creamy double
The imperial.
IPA.
The imperial part. That's that creaminess.
Yeah.
The citrus and the floral is the IPA. But then I
What's the red? What am I getting? What's the red identity?
All right, so the cream, citrus and floral. But now but if you drink it,
Oh, it smells good.
There's a whole lot of shit going on.
Oh
in
my
this beer.
God, this beer is
Yes.
amazing.
it is.
Way to go, Tut. If you would have gone a couple days earlier, we could have done the whole thing on this thing. Actually, this beer would have washed out any cigar. This beer has got so much going on.
Oh.
This beer is the bomb.com. You're going to Flavortown on this beer.
No, that is appropriate. That is appropriate. You are going to Flavortown on this beer.
Insane sauce.
Insane,
It's insane
sauce.
beer. Oh, that is fantastic
God, that's-
beer.
We have one. This is where it gets interesting. We have one more in the fridge. You bought 4. Now we get Bronson.
Death Circus.
Now I pull out the switchblade. You're dead, sucker.
Oh
my God,
All of a
it-
sudden, I brandish Wildy.
Oh my God. Got the mustache.
That's right.
It's my beer. Now you're dead. Dude, this beer is amazing.
It is.
Or are we just
Holy
so drunk
smokes.
on Old Chub that we...
Yes. Yes.
Old Chub is the greatest way
No,
to
now
taste.
I want to knock off all the old Chubs off the table. Like, screw you, Old Chub.
You guys are worthless.
You suck. You were okay until I had this.
I'm gonna take all 15 cans in front of me and just get them out of the way.
No, everything you said, the floral, it's got a really delicate floral. The aroma is just.
Bomb.com.
If you made a Matt Cade cologne, which someone out there is thinking about doing,
possibly.
maybe, probably, it would
Sure,
smell.
there's a website somewhere.
It would smell like this. It is. That is the imperial. When you said the imperialness is equals the creaminess, what does that mean? What is an imperial?
The Imperials, people use it for various things, but I mean, a lot of times when you hear it,
I think imperial. I think double IPA.
I
that
think
wrong?
Imperial. I think coffee style. A lot of your Imperials are like your Russian Imperials. They're a lot darker. They're a lot heavier. They got the maltiness and the bitterness going in.
But everything you just said, this beer doesn't have any of that.
Well,
They're-
no, it does have the maltiness in it.
but they are
Eh.
all
that's on the backside of that
incredibly
cream.
creamy.
It's muted. The maltiness is incredibly muted.
But that's because it's like mixed with all that IPA stuff.
I'm getting the creaminess and the hops and the floral.
That's like the mixture of the Imperial with the IPA, yo.
Can I point at things?
Point at it, baby. The bomb.com sauce.
Should
What
I
the-
come,
what the-
should I come in this
let me
way?
let me stick my finger in this. What is this? Gonna mix it?
Stir it
mix
up.
it up there?
Do I need to go this way?
Oh, now he's coming in from the top. Ooh.
Fist bump. Oscar Blues gonna
So
fist
do I
bump
go
you on
sideways and top?
And we've
Do I come in?
officially.
Do I need to
reached-
do I need
we-
to do a 10 and 2?
We're done. We've lost the show.
that. No, we haven't. That is freaking awesome.
God, that
beer.
is good.
It is good. It, like I said, citrus and floral. I mean, it's a strong.
Did they have any more of these, or just the 4
No,
you got?
No, I got the last 4.
Okay.
Did you let them know they suck?
Just take a dump in the aisle and be like, "Hey, you know what? By the time you're cleaning that up, maybe you can find some more of these."
Put some more of these.
That's what I would.
Do you know who I am? I'm from the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast.
I technically produce something.
I've done things, man. I've seen things.
I want to schedule a Colorado barn smoker so we can go there and just go to the factory and be like, pour that in my face until I'm literally this close to dying.
All right, fine.
Please?
Just get in line with everybody else. They're all here for the same thing.
exactly.
All those
We
cigar.
brewed 15 other beers. Nobody wants it. They just want that one.
Who are those losers? Stand in line. Those are other cigar film beer podcasters.
Wait, what?
There's more than us.
These
No,
are
not
the
according to
podcasters who want things but no longer care.
All right, who are those guys? Those are cigar podcasters who know their names but want to drink.
Oh.
Who are we? We are cigar podcasters who no longer know where we are or our names and don't know if we want to drink. Get
no.
them a drink. God, that's good beer. Have we hyped this beer up enough, for God's sake?
We probably could do a little more justice.
I don't think that there's ever been a beer in like 3 years, 2 years that we've gone this gaga over.
It's good.
Oh, we went gaga over Dankosaurus before it ran out at the pub.
Because we only had one of those, and the keg floated, and we didn't have any of
Here's
that.
your half a beer. It's delicious.
There was one other one that we flipped out for. That was just so in your face. In your face. Everything's Guy Fieri with us now.
Welcome to Flavortown.
Did you guys get all those memes I sent you today?
You mean all 500 of them?
No,
Yes.
I love the Dungeons and Dragons one that Cody said, the Escape from Flavortown.
It was Dungeons, Dragons, Divers, Diners, and Drives, and it was a dragon with the Guy Fieri hair, and the name of the book was
Escape from
Escape
Flavortown.
from
It was the original cover.
Oh yeah, it was like original D&D.
I was like, man, when I saw that one, it got me right in the feels.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think it should be whoever finishes there first gets that last one.
Oh shit!
you're
You're
already
way ahead.
Just saying. No, we'll settle it, but like gentlemen. A duel to the death.
No, you
Yeah,
did.
you did.
Okay, I think you folks at home get the idea. Old Chubb, good. Good night.
Fantastic.
Great. And it's hoppy as hell, and this guy likes it, and he doesn't really like hoppy beers, so that should tell you something.
It's probably my favorite beer that we've done in 3 years.
What?
Yes,
Dude, that's a bold statement. Oh my God. Really?
I know what I said.
Wow. Maybe we should save the other one to do some pictures and give it some... Maybe if we give it some love, they'll make more of it.
They're not. Thank you, Gordon.
Here, I'll know. Just give it to me.
Give it to me. I'll make sure it has a proper place.
We have done a lot of flavorful IPAs over the years. Dude, 70 episodes. I can't even begin to tell you my favorite beer we've done on the show. I'd have to look at I'd have to look at a spreadsheet. I'd have to do some...
I don't.
I have to bring up my pocket calculator, do some math.
Oh.
But this is really, really good. Yikes. It's good. All right, well, let's finish up this movie, and then we'll...
I gotta hit this up on Untapped and Twitter and Facebook.
Oh, God,
I'll be
he's useless the rest of the
there
night.
you go.
Yeah. At one point, during all this craziness, just to recap, Fraker just set an old lady on fire and then shot her to death with his MAC-10. At one point, Lieutenant Schreiker shows up. He hadn't been there. And he and Kersey just run down the middle of Main Street, jogging, wasting dudes right and left with their guns. Rooftops, coming out of buildings. They're just shooting guys all over the place. It's awesome. There's gang members up in trees shooting at them.
Oh
These
my
guys
God.
have climbed up in trees. They're shooting those guys.
Don't ever climb a tree to shoot.
And also,
There's gang members still trying to rape chicks who stop. Like, oh wait, there's Kersey. They try to shoot him. They shoot him. They stop some rapes. That's a good thing. There's horrible fake body dummies continuously soaring off the rooftops. Dude, those body dummies that they throw off these roofs are just
They're horrible.
terrible. Eventually, Wilde runs out of bullets, so Kersey goes back to Charlie's apartment to get another gun. Despite there's literally a sea of guns in Main Street. Everybody he shoots has a gun. They're just laying. There's just a million machine guns everywhere. I got to go up to the apartment and get my own piece. As he's crouched down, loading up his trusty old pistol, Fraker climbs in the window and is about to shoot him before Lieutenant Schreiker barges in the door and shoots the gang leader instead. But he takes a bullet from Fraker to his shoulder. Dude, Kersey looks at him. I guess I owe you one. He does. Kersey also shoots Fraker like 6 times in the chest just to make sure the deed is done. Before, I'm going to call you an ambulance. What ambulance,
It's gonna make their way.
first
through
of all,
Beirut?
is gonna come in there? Second of all, hasn't been called already. There's 1 million dead people here.
We need you to come down here. Whoa. What?
Where
what
are
was the name
you?
of that street? I don't think so.
No.
No, not today.
No. We'll come tomorrow. Well, he calls Stryker an ambulance, and like any classic movie villain, Fraker suddenly rises up from the dead. You see, Kersey? I got a bulletproof vest just like you. And he pulls out his gun, and Stryker's sitting there, and Kersey's sitting there. He's like, Stryker's like, you can't kill us both. And he's like, yeah, just watch me. Stryker goes to shoot him as Fraker goes to shoot Stryker. This gets confusing. Fraker and Shirker. Our hero, Kersey, reaches behind his coffee table. Remember that fucking rocket launcher that showed up in the mail?
He finds a purpose for
He
it.
tucked it behind the coffee table. He pulls it up, shunk, blows fucking Fraker out the window, and also destroys the entire side of the apartment building. Too bad you didn't have a missile-proof vest, punk. He doesn't say that. That'd
I was
be
about to
punk.
say, did he say
No,
that?
but that would be funny if he did, right? Do they make missile-proof vests? Probably
Depends
not.
on the missile.
Probably not. Well, somehow all the gang members know that instant that it's Fraker, that smoldering black chunk of flesh on the street. They know it's Fraker. It's literally, he's the size of a beer can. This little, he just got hit by a missile, but they know it's their leader, and they drop their weapons and run for the hills.
That's one of the.
It makes absolutely
that's
no
one
sense.
of my favorite things is that you got the one guy who like raises his chained fist like he's about to strike, and then you got the girl. No, they defeated our leader. It's time to go.
You know, when your leader was in prison, you just nominated another dude, and he took over. Not now. But how did they even know it was him? It's just a big chunk of shit. Well, that's
Oh,
Fraker.
they knew.
That's Fraker.
They knew.
The neighborhood is saved, boys. Everybody's cheering. Lieutenant Stryker tells Kersey, I can buy you a couple minutes, get a head start. So Kersey packs his suitcases neatly, changes into his nice suit again, stops by the Jewish family's apartment for one last meal. No, he doesn't do that.
Yes, he does.
And he walks off into the sunset.
It was,
Literally,
in, it was in the deleted scenes. He did.
the end credits roll as he walks off into the sunset. End of movie.
It was like a- it was
end
like-
of great movie.
It was like a really rushed ending there.
It was.
Uh,
Anytime you have a villain like Fraker, you want like an epic finale. Like Commando, you want Bennett to have a steam pipe through him, or you want a Rambo, an explosive arrow through.
well, this guy did take a missile launcher.
Well, that's true. What would you do, Cade? Different, bigger? No, it is good. Well, I thought when they just shot him, that was weak.
Yeah.
But then when he gets a
would've
grenade
loaded up
launcher,
my
that's
rocket launcher with all the rockets.
Kersey. You can't get it. Rodriguez is all of a sudden there. Kersey, you can only get one in at a time.
But I think
I can
that's
get- I can do it.
I think that what you're talking about is that he didn't get that final dialogue. He didn't get that
he
final
didn't get that
monologue.
one last one-liner.
You know that
No.
we've actually been serving X Corp.
And Kersey didn't get the last one-liner. You know,
No.
when Arnold kills Bennett and let off some steam, Bennett, they always get that one last one-liner.
Yeah.
That's why I thought too bad you didn't have a rocket-proof vest. I thought that would have been a good one-liner.
It needed
But
something.
that's not in Kersey's character.
Well, it might not have been, but it did need something, and maybe that's
It did seem very... It did,
and maybe this
considering it was a rocket that blew off half
when
the
was
building,
this? When was this made?
85.
Yeah, it should have had that one-liner.
Considering that he blew off half the apartment building with this guy, cinematically it was a good ending. But
Yeah, it was, but at the same time, character-wise, I mean,
Could you kill
what's
to
his
get-
name going? You better get out of here. I'll buy you some time. What?
and boom, it's over. At the very least, he
At
could.
least give me the black kid giving the.
Oh, dude, that would have been a
Powers
great
up,
ending.
man.
He's walking out. He's like, or he does the classic gun like he did in the first one.
He doesn't do anything. He just walks away.
I thought the ending was as insane as like the last 20 minutes
It
were.
left me wanting.
The last 5 minutes was kind of, yeah, what?
Well,
Okay.
because you saw Kersey running back to the apartment for his gun as he tripped over guns, and as he tripped over gang members looking for him, like they didn't even try to shoot him. It was just kind of sloppy. It was a sloppy last 5 minutes.
I agree.
Well, the film opened at number 1 at the box office, and
D3?
yeah. And when you factor in cable TV and home video rentals, it was an excellent moneymaker for Canon.
Yes.
Which of course led to 2 more Death Wish films, although director Michael Winner was no longer involved with the franchise. I personally thought Death Wish 5, The Face of Death, was pretty cool. It had Michael Parks
I don't think I've
as
seen it.
as a gangster. It was kind of like, once again, Bronson, now at like 70-something, had like a 20-year-old model girlfriend, and it was like the modeling world, and it was horrible. It was, but I like Death Wish 5. The other one, the 4, was The Crackdown. It was all about crackheads, and I didn't really leave.
Crackdown about crackheads.
Crackdown about crackheads.
A little on the nose there.
Here's what I love about cracking down. Usually get to crack some crackheads.
Did you say that?
I don't know. And we will never do another Death Wish movie, so we'll never know. I usually don't on the show reference IMDb trivia, but I'm going to make an exception here. I think you'll know why. There was 2 things that caught my eye, both from our friend Bill from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Alex Winter. According to Alex Winter, Charles Bronson had a Jaguar car that would drive him from his dressing room to the set, which was usually about 3 feet away.
Oh my God.
He said it was more like watching a man golf than act. I love that quote.
I love that.
Dude, think about it. You step out of the cart, you say some stuff. and
That's
you're
kind of
done.
the way I envision y'all talking about me doing podcasts. It's like, watching Tuttle is more like watching Tuttle is more like watching a man golf than do a podcast.
Oh no, I think this is, dude, what a quote.
No, it's
Because
pretty
you can
fucking
see
awesome.
it. You can watch the movie and picture Bronson stepping out, saying a few lines, getting
Yeah.
back into this Jaguar and go back to his thing.
That's one of the things that
It's golfing.
I watched an interview with Anthony Hopkins, who is pretty much respected as this great thespian, and
thespian.
many people not named Matt Cade respect Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, I said he was a good thespian. I just said I don't know if he's.
You said he was a thespian.
You said he's respected as a great thespian. I don't know if he's okay.
Yes.
He's done some okay stuff.
he's great.
I liked him in Thor.
He's great.
He was good in Thor. Yes, that was a
Anyway, one of the
fantastic
things that I saw an interview with him, it was like, memorize your lines, show up on time. That's it. That's the big secret. Memorize your lines, show up on time.
We posted an article on Facebook this week.
Yeah.
Some website did a thing about John
Kurt
Carpenter
Russell, yeah.
and Kurt Russell's great relationship
Yes.
over the years and why they work so good together. But what they failed to mention was the whole reason that Carpenter was drawn to Russell on Elvis, and then he kept working with him, because he showed up and he knew his lines.
That's what
That's like a huge thing.
that's what Hopkins was saying.
Memorize
is
your
that
fucking lines.
you're a professional.
100%.
Your job is to know the
Yeah, boy,
lines.
beer.
Yes.
Memorize the lines.
Oh,
no,
show up
save-
on time.
He gets the other good.
Yeah, I'll just take a little
He said it was the best beer he's ever had on the show. He gets the other one.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, check out the Untapped Tuttle and check out our Twitter feed at TNCCcast. And you will see me just freaking gush about this beer.
Are you ready for the other Alex Winter quote from IMDb?
Yes.
He said Michael Winner, the director, walked around on set smoking a big cigar, and an assistant walked behind him with a cigar box. If the assistant went over a certain line behind him, he was fired. Winner had a new assistant every day on set. That seems crazy.
That's a little bit insane.
But if it is true, that's awesome.
I could see us doing that.
I would do that.
It's like Smokey and the Bandit when Junior takes like 2 steps beyond Buford T. Justice and then takes like 2 steps back behind him.
Cross this line, we're done. Every day. I thought those little insights were good. Last point I want to make. Obviously, we're talking about this film because this month,
Our boy Bruce Willis.
happy birthday, Bruno. He came out with his own reboot of the Death Wish franchise, which I was totally against. Two-prong. Eli Roth, the director who...
We did on the Emerald Jungle?
Green Inferno.
Green Inferno?
The Emerald Forest is a...
Totally missed
no, you totally missed that. I'm taking that beer.
The Jade
Guess what? I get
Foliage?
that. I get that beer.
Oh.
No, you can still have it. He's a chump, and we don't. You know, he talks a big game, but he's kind of a hack. But
Doctor loved it.
And I was like, how the hell do you cast Bruce Willis in a Death Wish movie as a pacifist doctor whose family, and he's like, can't imagine using a gun.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I've seen this guy kill thousands of people. But our doctor, our fourth member, said Bruce made it work. He made it believe that this guy was a surgeon, and that he said Bruce brought it.
Yeah,
which he doesn't do a lot these days.
He also said that they changed it up a little bit to where he wasn't like, this broken crazy man that Bronson plays.
No, he
Kelsey.
just goes. It's just a revenge story.
You always get. He said that's the thing that kind of intrigued me is that Bruce Willis's character. There was always a hint of redemption, that he's on the edge, but he can always step back from the edge. Where Bronson, by at least Death Wish 3, he's just fucking mowing people down.
He's fucking crazy. He's not stopping.
I'm curious about it. I am actually curious about it.
You're jaywalking. Now you're dead. Yeah, no, but you know what? The doctor liked it, so I want to see it now.
Yeah,
he said it brings in a lot of. Go to our website, read his review. He said it brings in a lot of stuff, like because it's captured on YouTube.
Yeah,
and they bring in like how everything nowadays there's a cell phone video, and like you're not going to have a vigilante going around nowadays without a social media thing.
Correct.
He liked the way that Eli Roth
they brought that,
handled it. So. Hey,
and it really sticks in your craw to like say something.
Hey,
nice.
I have no control over the doctor. He likes what he likes, and I'm not gonna go against it. But so you know what? It was a timely movie to do because of that movie in theaters, and it actually did pretty good the first weekend out. If you are going to revisit the Death Wish franchise, I recommend highly you start from the beginning and work your way at least through part 3. 4 and 5 are. Good God, he's so old.
Yeah.
But at least if you really are interested in the series, watch 1, 2, and 3.
I'm gonna have to at least watch the original Bronson.
I watched
Death
part.
Wish
I watched part
because-
2 leading up to this, and it's a very flawed movie. And unlike this movie, he lets a lot of bad guys go. He literally only wants to kill the
people that were
the people that killed his daughter, and he lets a lot of bad guys go. But during that, he gets a bloodlust to where he's like, at the end, he's like, all right,
they're one and the same.
This is who I am now.
No, it's like they're cockroaches. You have to kill them all.
And it works in the context of part 3. You believe it.
And that's one things that for all of my memories of the Death Wish series, I was surprised at how much is Death Wish 3. all the stuff that I thought was Death Wish. No, it's Death Wish.
It's amazing,
3.
and which is so different than the other ones.
Yeah, and now I want to go watch the original.
If you look at our 80s heroes, our action heroes, and their signature franchises, obviously, you've got Stallone with Rambo, you've got Arnold with the Terminator, and I'm sorry, Bronson did probably 100 movies,
He
but
was a little bit before our time.
But Bronson did 1 million movies, but he is Charles He's Paul Kersey. Death Wish was his kind of burden that's his claim to fame, for better or for worse.
Yeah, I think I came into Bronson on Dirty Dozen. His character there. He's chopping wood.
Well,
he got that nice close up and then the pan away.
I'm not saying he didn't do other things. Arnold and Sly did 1 million other things that we loved him in. I mean, we love Bronson as harmonica in Once Upon a Time in the West.
That's the one thing that I'm kind of like.
But let's face it, harmonica in Once Upon a Time in the West was Paul Kersey with a cowboy hat on. This guy has no range.
It's pretty bad.
This guy has no range whatsoever.
It's pretty bad.
Everything he does is the exact same, whether it's a Western or this guy.
It's kind of like that cigar that's not. It doesn't have transitions. It's just one note, but that one note is excellent.
We said that on the last cigar that we did. Boy, this thing doesn't change a lot, but I like what it's given me on this one thing.
Yeah.
That's Bronson. You're not going to get a Macbeth out of Bronson.
Well, you can.
I'd watch it, but it probably shouldn't exist. But yeah, it led.
I would love to see him as Hamlet.
There's something rotten in the state of Denmark.
Wait, that's too many lines.
And that is way too hard. I'm taking out the trash, punk.
Hey, Claudius. Now you're dead.
Well, thanks for joining us. I hope it was a fun episode. I had fun.
Yes, absolutely.
I think we drank enough beers. Jesus Christ. You get the last good beer.
Good night.
I say that, but Old Chub was good.
Old Chub was fantastic. Get it. Drink it.
It was fantastic. That beer's fantastic. The Old Chub was good.
Fantastic.
It was good. This is fantastic. I'm drinking Old Chub now, and I really wish I was drinking that other one of those. God, that's a good beer.
If you want it, take it.
No. You said it was the best beer you've ever had.
No, I said
on the show.
It's the best
70
beer I've
episodes. You earned it. You earned it.
It might be close to the best beer I've ever had.
Oh my God, are you hearing this?
Exactly.
All right.
But I'm kind of drunk at this point.
Well, who isn't?
Hey, Dad.
Wait.
Links. What?
Cody, you said wait.
You said wait.
No, I didn't say wait.
No.
I'm pretty sure I heard him
Pretty
say
sure
wait.
you said wait, and you had something bold to say.
You were leaning in towards the mic.
You have to say something now.
Drink more.
He was going to say,
Always
join
drink
us. He was going to say, join us on Twitter at TNCCcast. Join us on Instagram. See all of K does a lot of posting on Instagram. Join and see his handiwork at
You know what? You do an occasional
podcast.
Instagram post, and they're always enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. People love seeing my cats. It's nice. At TNCC_podcast. Hit us up on Facebook at Facebook is Tuesday Night Cigar Club. And then hit us on YouTube, Tuesday Night Cigar Club as well. And if you made it this far, if you have Amazon shopping to do, please go to our website, hit the Amazon link.
I can't express enough.
Please.
Go to subscribe to YouTube. We should be watched. If you're listening to us on a iTunes or a podcast subaffiliate, Podbean or whatever,
The best.
I really think we are meant to be watched.
The best quote I have ever.
We're so damn handsome.
The best quote I have ever seen.
Wake up, Yak Boy.
I am.
Show them how handsome you are.
I am awake.
Show my hands in your
The
arm.
best quote I've ever seen.
Give him a flex.
Did you just like? I can't remember who, but they were like, "This is my cigar lounge. This is like going to the cigar lounge, hearing people talk about stuff."
Somebody said that about us?
Yes,
Oh.
it's awesome. And that's
Where
what
was
we,
this?
Somewhere in the social media webs.
So
interwebs.
it's so hard to keep track of.
It's all there in the interwebs.
Somebody did say that. I you know what? I remember that. Recently they said, like, this is like being at my cigar lounge and watching a movie, and these guys are saying, yeah.
They're doing the thing.
We're doing the thing, and we're doing it well. All right, boys. God, do you want to stick around and drink some more beers?
Yes,
I do.
Yes, I do.
Not like on camera, but like when we
No.
call quits
Yes.
and, yeah,
Yes.
do it after the camera.
Yes.
We forgot the one great Kersey line. Do you really like opera?
No.
As an opera major, even I found that funny.
Hey, he's trying to get in her panties.
He said all the right things. No.
Hey, he was giving an effort into something. You know what I like? Opera. It soothes me. Oh, that's really special, Paul. Do you really like opera? No. This guy has... I am so baffled by Bronson.
Oh, he's. What do you mean baffled?
He's
you
amazing.
know what you were gonna get.
No, I know what I was going to
Delivered.
get, but it's so just like...
He's amazing.
Every time I think he's giving me a little something, he's quick to counter it with like, I gave you nothing. Dude, he's in Catherine's apartment. Paul, tell me something about yourself, because I've given up my entire life and my career to be with you, even though I know nothing about you. Tell me something about you. I like opera. Oh, do you really? No. That is him in a nutshell.
I love it.
He's a obtuse asshole, much like ourselves.
Yes,
Oh,
he is.
Man, I love it.
Would you consider us obtuse assholes?
Well,
I would
not
if I knew
obtuse.
what.
We're obtuse. Well, we're assholes.
If I knew what the word obtuse meant, I would say yes.
Now we'll take a minute for Tuttle to Google obtuse.
No.
All right, let's just do that. We don't have time for all that. We can agree on this. God damn it, more than ever. May the wings of liberty... I mean it.
Never lose a feather.
May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Keep the resistance alive. Keep strong. Keep drinking. Sayonara, Sayonara, motherfuckers. Oh. Sayonara, motherfuckers.
Now you're dead.
Now you're dead.
To learn more about the time I delivered my own special brand of vigilante justice to the terrified and quivering criminal underbelly of downtown Youngstown, Ohio in the early 1990s, please download my unproduced screenplay, Death Wish 7. Holy mackerel, that's a lot of death, by Keith A. Howell. You see, I couldn't afford a gun, or even a knife, but I was working as a bag boy at the local Piggly Wiggly grocery, and I'd steal a big fish at the end of every shift. And later that night, I'd slap the bejesus out of thieving no-good punks with it. And then I just realized that by stealing the fish from my employer, I was no better than the punks I fish slapped. Irony? Meet Keith. Keith, meet irony. And now you're dead, punk. In the meantime, to learn more about the cigars and libations enjoyed on tonight's episode, you can visit www.oscartobacco.com. That's Oscar with a C. And www.oscarblues.com. That's Oscar with a K. For more on O'Brien's Irish Pub, the live music leader in Central Texas, please visit o'brienstemple.com and download their free smartphone app, where you'll find full beer listings including over 40 on tap, menu information, and a calendar of upcoming live events. To listen and purchase music heard on tonight's program, check out www.fritzbeermusic.com. Thank you for listening to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. This is Keith A. Howell saying until next time, friends, unless we see you sooner at the pub. So keep it smoky, and for God's sake, keep it ballsy as well.
Get drunk, go to sleep, rock it up. Go to work, get drunk, go to sleep, rock it up. Go to work, get drunk, go to sleep, rock it up. Go to work, get drunk, go to sleep.
Please be aware that there are no Piggly Wiggly grocery stores in northeastern Ohio. The name of the local IGA grocer has been changed to protect the innocent.